I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, Internet world, and welcome to episode 504 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast slash show slash whatever you want to call us. This is recording live on Sunday, October 23rd, 2022. We are up on Twitch. You can find us at nerds.live, and then the replay will be up on the official YouTube channel for the Gonna Geek Network at youtube.com/Gonna Geek. I am Chris. Joining me today, I have the usual band of misfits. We'll start first. Willie D. Nelson. How do you do, sir?
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
You could do some kind of DDP riff, like, hey, it's me. It's Willie D. instead of DDP.
Oh, I always say that when I come into a party on PlayStation or something, say, hey, it's Willie D, because my name's Willie D. Nelson on there. And I'd be like, yeah, it's Willie D. It's who I be. I've always said that. You're stealing it from me.
That's what I'm here to do. I steal everyone's shtick. Isn't that right, Mr. Anthony Bachman?
Thievery, I says, thievery, boy. Mm-hmm.
He stole your stick.
Shtick.
What's he doing with your stick?
I don't know, but it's not cool.
Chris, what are you doing with the stick?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's why I'm asking.
I'm poking things with it, and then I'm going to make marshmallows. Or rather, s'mores by holding them over the fire.
What shape is your fucking stick there, buddy?
I mean, it's literally a stick. What did you think I took? It was just a stick. It's about 3 foot long. I shaved the end into a spear. I stuck a marshmallow, excuse me. Started up a fire on the back deck and went, let's toast this marshmallow so I can have some s'mores.
I'm a little worried here because just because it's called a boner doesn't mean it has a bone in it. So what the fuck did you sharpen?
A stick.
The stick?
I stole his stick.
Okay.
Willie, I'm being completely literal here. There's no metaphor here. I know. I'm not trying to be subtle. I stole the man's stick so I could make s'mores. It's what I do. I eat candy. I love candy.
He's a stick thief.
Stick thief. I've been called worse. Just saying.
You will be called worse.
Probably by Willie.
Well, more than likely.
Probably within the next few minutes.
Sure, I don't even know what I'm supposed to call you, but I'm sure I'll call you in a couple minutes.
I mean, you generally do insult me a few times to start the show.
Oh, it's just a general insulting?
Yeah, just a general insulting.
Your nose smells.
I mean, it literally does.
And that's what it's supposed to do, right?
It does my smelling. I like that one. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it. That was nice.
For your audio listeners, we both thumbs each other up.
For those on the audio version, I guess I lost my train of thought here for a second. We didn't get into our usual random asides to start the show. I'm very confused. Where's our random tangents? Quick, think something tangentially to what we're talking about. Awkward silence.
How big is Godzilla's stick?
Well, I mean, I imagine he just tears down a redwood tree and then puts marshmallows on it to roast them over his own fire. He probably just sticks the marshmallows on a redwood and goes...
Redwood, you say?
Is it atomic? Yeah, atomic breath on the stick.
Oh, atomic s'mores.
Damn right. How has someone not made that yet?
I mean, in theory, you could. You just need to get marshmallows that are like green or something like that, and then roast them.
Food safe, glow in the dark, paint dye for your marshmallows.
But here's the question:
atomic marshmallows. There we go. We have a cell.
I was thinking that too, but my question for you would be, how does that react when you toast it? Is it still going to chemically react well enough to glow in the dark if you toast the food safe glow in the dark dye that you put in your marshmallows?
if you burn the ink, will it still glow? Is what you're asking?
No,
Are
no.
you seriously asking
No,
that?
no. Okay, so here's my thought: is the ink would be diffused throughout the marshmallow. You are obviously, if you depending on how you eat your s'mores, you're either going to toast or burn the outside. But as you do that, it'll crackle, and there'll be elements of the regular marshmallow that show through. Would that still glow, or does the temperature, kind of, for lack of a better term, kill the glow in the dark dye? Is it's not? My question is it temperature safe to a point where you could roast a marshmallow and it still work? I don't know.
I doubt it.
I do too. I mean, we could find out, but this sounds expensive.
Yeah.
But it'd be worth it for atomic s'mores.
Now, wait, when you say expensive, how expensive are you thinking it's going to be?
Well, I don't know what kind of research or what kind of sign off has to go on to using food safe glow in the dark dye in food, or if there is even one that exists already that could be repurposed for that.
You know what? For $500 research, I can do it for you.
$500? How about Tree Fitty?
Well, I do see myself as a 5-story creature of ancient proportions, so yeah, I'll take Tree Fitty.
A monster from the Paleolithic era.
I did the joke to the best of my ability. You don't need to add on
I
to
was
it.
adding on
When
to it.
I was supposed to
But
be the
Willie,
Loch Ness Monster in
Willie.
this, because you're the one that said Tree 50, not me.
Willie, that's how that gag works on there, though, is they build back and forth off of each other. Chef's parents.
Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm. If anyone here has any knowledge about how food safe glow in the dark dye would work, let us know at ATGN Podcast on Twitter. I mean, we don't have any money to actually invest in this. It's more just idle curiosity at this point in time.
Different chemicals burn different ways, so if we can make it burn blue, that'd be cool.
I mean, that is true, because when I was in
Burn
the
green.
Scouts, we always used to do different campfire skits and things like that. And some of what we'd found out is different metals burn differently in fire. So you could throw a thing of tissue paper wrapped around, say, copper shavings to get green flames temporarily and stuff like that. It's fun stuff. We are amateur pyros.
Yeah, we're amateur pyros. Now you're professional pyros.
No,
Nope, never been paid for it.
Yeah.
Have the cops caught you yet, you arsonist?
That's why I'm a pyro, not an arsonist.
Look,
Never
I'll
been
say
paid
this.
for it.
The town I live in now, it's a felony to burn a couch. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, here's your aside. What's the largest thing any of y'all ever set on fire? On purpose or accidentally?
A small trash can.
Apartment-sized dumpster.
Damn.
Wait. I that is impressive. But remember how Chris said it's now illegal to set a couch on
Mhm.
fire? That sounds like a story there. Does that have anything to do with the why it's illegal?
It was outside city limits on my friend's private property, but I went to West Virginia University, and this is a college that is well known for their partying ways and liking bonfires and things like that. And in many years past, even going back to when my parents were attending the university in the late 70s, they were known for big block parties where bonfires would happen and things like that. Notoriously, it was couches people would take and toss into those bonfires, because a lot of folks that lived downtown would actually just buy cheapo couches and put them on their front porch, which is now also not allowed. In fact, the city will come confiscate them if you have a couch on your front porch. But they would
What?
burn them. And there was a joke at one point in time, I think it was in about 2003, WVU had changed their advertising motto for that year, because they change it every year. And 2003 was "Where greatness is learned." And everyone realized, oh, this rhymes. So to the student body, it became "Where greatness is learned and couches are burned." There were many couches that were lit on fire. But
Nice.
fast forward to me actually lighting a couch on fire. This is not scandalous, I'm sorry to say, but my friend has property, lives well outside of town, it's his own private property, and liked to do a big bonfire every year, in part to clear a lot of the brush that he trimmed down out of his yard, tree branches, stuff like that. But he also had a couple old couches that had been in his basement he wanted to get rid of. So we burned the couches. And I did not participate in this game because I was far too sober to do so. But my friend and some of his friends then started the game of who can sit on the burning couch the longest before they decide they have to get off the fire. That was interesting.
Wow.
There were only some minor burns that came out of that.
This sounds just like Ted Nugent's show.
Cat scratch dumbass.
No, he had like a reality show where like he had people stay on his farm and they win prizes by doing stupid games. One of the stupid games was you had to run between these bales of hay, like just a line of them going either way, and then they each have like increasing money as you further you go. The problem is there's a truck coming from the other way coming at you. This, I believe it was the first or second person that went up, got hit by the motherfucking truck.
Yeah, I thought the show was called Cat Scratch Dumbass, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was. It should have been.
That was definitely the working title.
I mean, I'll allow it.
So is that some dangerous stuff for you, Chris? Like sitting on it, seeing how long you stay on a burning couch till you have to get up?
Well, once the cushion started
Yikes.
catching on fire, it was then who could run across the burning couch the fastest. They turned it into.
Well, that's at least. I mean,
I proved my
it sounds
point then.
dumb, but that's a less deadly game at least than just sitting on it.
Well, I should also point out that once this was after the couch had been successfully burned, this bonfire had flames that were probably going about 15 to 18 feet up in the air because of how much stuff had been thrown on it. Now,
Well,
it wasn't
part of the problem-
consistently that, but it was those
Yeah.
were the peaks.
Well, part of the problem though is you're burning a couch. You're talking about like polystyrofoam, polyester, whatever
Yeah.
the materials in there. So sitting on it and just inhaling those fumes, that could kill you faster than the flame.
Well, and when those plastics melt, those are
Yeah.
not a burn you want to get, is burning plastic
No.
off of a couch or burning synthetic material off a couch, because
yeah,
that stuff will just cut right through whatever you're wearing. And this was the summer, so most people were wearing shorts and t-shirts, I would also point out.
yeah, that stuff gets stuck on you. You're gonna end up with some Freddy Krueger type skin. It is not a good look.
Look, there was a reason I didn't play the game, but I didn't discourage the game either. I just kind of sat.
Chicken shit.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care. I just kind of I sat there talking to one of my other buddies as we were both sipping our beers, going, "This is going to end poorly." Bear in mind,
Oh.
this also happened over a decade ago at this point in time.
There was multiple instances of being out drunk doing dumb shit in other countries where it was 2 or 3 idiots doing something, and I was one of the 3 or 4 guys going, "Someone's gonna get hurt." So y'all have fun. Someone's about to get hurt. Oh, here we go. Now we're going to the hospital. Yeah, sometimes it's just the smart move is to stand aside and watch the idiots hurt themselves.
Someone has to be in a state to deal with the aftermath. That's always what my job ended up being, is okay, well, shit went wrong. Let me fix it.
But yeah, I don't know if I've done it. I haven't done it recently enough, but thank you again to Michael Edward Jackson, my boy Jackson the Navy, for always being there for us. He was the one guy in our group of friends who had never drank, had never had a drop of alcohol his entire life. And I cannot count the amount of times that we probably wouldn't have made it back to the ship if we didn't have him out with us. And so thank you, Jax. You were the fucking man. You're still the fucking man.
Right?
Yeah, there's
Jack
probably
from Mortal Kombat was there with you?
Yes.
Metal
His
arms and
were even
everything?
bigger. Yep, his arms were even bigger. He kept us
Well-
all safe.
God, what was his good line in the movie? He had a good line after he killed that one dude.
Which movie?
The latest Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
The
there's
HBO
not much
Max
good.
one.
There's not much good in that movie other than the fights.
What? It's still a good movie.
No, good. I mean,
Yeah,
good is
it's a-
subjective, but I don't know if I
It's a
call
good
that new
movie.
one
You're just
good.
wrong. Like, Jesus Christ. Talk about the one with the main character was a made up character, but I can handle that. It's whatever. Then an awesome fight with Goro.
You need a Goro, bro.
But yeah, Jax had some line after he got his arms and said something. I forget what he said. He made a line. I can't remember the fucking line, but it was so good. Kano was so good in that movie.
No, Kano was good. Kano was the showstopper in that movie. I'll give you that. That was the best version of Kano they've ever done. Wow.
Some good
Michael Jai
lines.
White. Michael Jai White Jax from like the independently made like YouTube video series of Mortal Kombat was better than this Jax in the HBO
I'm not
movie.
saying it wasn't. I'm just saying I also like the way this Jax had a good line. That's all I'm saying. And you want
Well, if
to
it was that
argue with
good,
it whether or
why
not he had
can't
a
you
good
remember it?
line.
If it's that good, why can't you remember it? See, because I can think back to Harlem Nights and I've been in
You can
Snake
think
Eyes
back
Wilson.
to-
I can call the dice before they stop rolling. I can remember good lines.
Hold on.
Why
hold
can't
on.
you remember Jackson's
Think
line?
about who you're talking to here. And I don't mean this disparaging, but Willie will be the first to tell you he has a bad memory and doesn't remember shit.
Would he be the first to tell us, or do we have to say it because he doesn't remember?
Okay, that's fair. But it is part of that is a line that Willie does repeat on this show many times, is that he has, in effect, a shit memory and doesn't remember some of this stuff. So it's
That's true.
possible that Willie just
The
straight up
fact-
doesn't remember.
That I remember that there was a good line there, and I can pinpoint the moment when it happened should be good enough.
I mean, only if someone else has seen the movie and can then remember what the line is for you.
Chris, you see the movie, right?
No, I haven't seen the movie. The new HBO Mortal Kombat? No, it sounds like poop. I never wanted to watch it.
It was great. What do you? I thought we all agreed that it was good because everyone said it was good.
Well, remember
so
what
I'm
we said
like,
about
I'm
your memory, Willie.
confused.
I'm
I'm
pretty sure I
confused.
said I never
This
watched
movie
it.
is good. You just watch it. That's all there is. Just watch it.
So what you're saying is I should watch this movie.
But you know how well that track record
Yeah.
works.
That's
So
what I
it's
was
fun to
gonna
see
ask.
if that
Add
happens.
it
Should
to
I
the
watch
list.
it? Should I watch it before The Fifth Element?
Don't you fucking
Do what you
dare.
fucking want to do.
No,
You're the one
don't you
hurting
dare.
us on purpose because
If
you're a
you rush
dickhead.
out and see what is not even the best Mortal Kombat movie, like that's what I'll say. It's not even the best Mortal Kombat movie.
It's the best Mortal Kombat movie. I'm saying.
It's not a high bar. Let's be honest.
It's not a high bar, and it's still
It's the
not
best
the best
one.
Mortal Kombat movie. So that tells you what you're in the mood for.
It's the best
If you
one.
watch that before The Fifth Element, you are doing yourself a disservice, sir.
Wouldn't be the first time or the last time I've done myself a
True.
disservice
True.
in life. I've been a
I'm just
podcaster
saying.
for a decade. Let's be honest
Ugh.
here. I'm used to not doing myself a good service.
It's all about disservice. We're here for the disservice, sir.
So evidently I have to watch the Mortal Kombat movie that I vaguely remember saying I never really cared to watch.
I'm saying it was a good movie and worth a watch.
Yeah, but we've also heard your opinion on Man of Steel, and you're wrong about that. So
It's the best Superman movie there is.
yeah, not even close.
What?
It's not even top
Christopher
three.
Reeves is overrated.
Blasphemer.
I'll say it and say it again.
Christopher Reeves' the first Superman movie is almost a perfect film.
If you want to say so, go
It's
ahead.
a 9. It's a 9.5 out of 10. It's almost perfect.
Man of Steel is barely a 5.
Just say what you want to say. Go ahead. I said what
Yeah.
I said. I'm
Actually,
not putting
it's
a
probably-
number system to it.
It's legit.
I'm just
probably a little
saying
bit
it's the
higher,
best one.
because Henry Cavill's pretty good in the role, despite the fact he's playing a Superman that's unlike any other Superman or unlike the core elements.
That's
of it.
I
unlike
want the
Superman.
exact same thing I've had before.
No, I
Give me
want
the exact same thing.
Wait,
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I get you. You don't want any change. You don't want
No,
anything
no,
new.
no.
You don't want anything
I
better.
want the
I
character.
got you.
No, I want the character to be faithful to its core tenets of what
Exactly.
they do. That
Which is why you can have a dark and gritty Batman, and the last 3 Batman have all been great. And there's not much that carries through them. Christian
The last-
Bale and Sparkly Boy, their Batmans, their Bruce Waynes are very different, but they're both true to the character of Batman. I'm sad because my parents are dead. I'm going to go punch people. And they
parents
nailed it.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to
Like-
remind you every fucking 5 minutes about
Well,
it.
that's DC, shooting themselves in the foot because it's the only thing they're good at. But
Take a rip.
all those versions of Batman are true to the character. Unfortunately, the Snyderverse Flash and Superman have nothing to do with the characters from the comics that they're based on, other than their powers. The actual character in the story has zero relevance, nothing that relates back to any of the pre-written stories for those characters. Therefore, they are not true to the character. Shazam showed them how it should be done. And now, guess what? So did Black Adam.
And this has all been a rehash of conversations we've had before, but may become
That's why I'm
important
keeping
due to
quiet.
Black Adam.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we'll
Here's something
probably-
new. The Batman's also the best Batman movie.
I've heard people say that. I mean,
I
Robert
could see
Pattinson
the
has
argument.
a huge fan following, so you could see where there's going to be a lot of people that love him as Batman.
Because they gave us more of what we do like, Batman, and they took away stuff we don't like, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. It won't. We had an actual. I
We
mean,
don't.
Matt Reeves gave us an actual detective story.
We
Like,
don't see Batman because we want to see Bruce Wayne. We see Batman because we want to see
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, I don't
And-
disagree with that argument. I could legitimately see the argument in some people's minds where the Batman is the best Batman movie. I will counter, however, with Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, Mask of Phantasm is almost perfect. But see, it also depends when you grew up and what your Batman is.
Also
Because like
true.
Kevin Smith talked about, loving Adam West because he watched those, reruns when he was a kid. That was his Batman. I was 12 years old when Batman 89 hit theaters. It's hard as hell to take that spot out of my head that Michael Keaton is Batman because he fucking nailed it. It was the first realistic, dark version of Batman. By comparison now, that's a joke. But since the only live action we'd had was the 66, when you look at that going to Tim Burton's Batman, it was dark and gritty and realistic, even with the giant rubber cowl. But like, that was my Batman. Michael Keaton is fucking amazing.
Hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt you. You need to say multiplicities, Michael Keaton, please, and thank you.
No, Mr. Mom's Michael Keaton. Because that was the TV guide.
Movie, thank you.
No, the TV guide article at the time was Mr. Mom is going to be Batman.
Yeah.
Because this was pre-internets, almost any entertainment magazine. And so, yeah, I remember seeing that in the grocery store. Like, people flipped out. That was Mr. Mom is going to be Batman. It's like, Michael Keaton? Really? But yeah, it depends on when you saw your Batman. But yeah, Matt Reeves gave us 1, a detective story, 2, realistic gear, 3, a very realistic Gotham, and 4, a terrifying Riddler. If you'd have told me we get a scary Riddler, I never would have believed you.
Paul Dan. That crazy.
Anybody can make the Joker. Anybody can make the Joker terrifying if you do the character correctly. We saw Heath Ledger do it. His Joker is terrifying.
Ironically, I didn't care for the Joker in the Batman that they just showcased in the deleted scenes, but
that was dumb. That was that should have
wasn't just in deleted scenes. It was also in the movie, but I know what you mean.
I thought it was just the lead scene. I don't remember.
No, it was in there.
No, because I watched on I watched on HBO Max, and you see him talking to the Riddler, and it's like, oh, Riddler's in a cell next to the Joker, because
that's right.
When you
that's right.
Yeah, when you get the craziest person ever, put him in a cell next to the other craziest person ever. That way they can chat.
There was probably more in deleted scenes, but I think
it was probably longer.
Yeah, there was a whole scene that was deleted that was Batman talking to the Joker in an interrogation cell.
Okay.
That's
that was not.
I apologize. I'd forgotten.
Didn't need it.
Yeah,
it was good to cut it out. They didn't need that in the movie.
We're talking DC superheroes because we're going to be talking about DC superheroes, so maybe that's just our sign to.
Actually, oh God, yeah, we don't need the Joker in a Hannibal role. Oh, that'd be terrible. I'm glad they cut that.
Thanks for stomping all over my attempted segue.
He did. He just killed that segue.
Stomped the shit out of it.
Segue. You got it in my head, and I started thinking about it, and it weaseled its way out of my mouth.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
It's the news of the week. That part of the show where we talk about what was in our minds the most interesting geeky and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the last week or so, and share it with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date. I had teased just minutes ago that we were going to be talking about Black Adam. In order to set that up, let's go to one of my favorite professional wrestlers working today to get their opinions on Black Adam before Bachman tells us about it, saying, this is from Maxwell Jacob Friedman, _MJF on Twitter. I saw The Rock's new movie, Black Adam, last night. If you don't like this movie, you're a disgusting poor.
Disgusting what?
Poor.
He calls people
P-O-R.
Yeah.
Like a poor person.
Yes.
Yeah, so he doesn't refer to them as the poor. He just calls them poor.
Yes.
That's perfectly
I thought it was hilarious.
Nice.
So
Nice.
It lent itself nicely to getting into that. Yes, The Rock's Black Adam did debut after him trying to do the role for what he shared on Instagram, a post written by, or an article written by Peter Scretta like 15 years ago when he was originally cast in the role, saying he'd been trying to do it for ages. But Bachman's got more for us on the debut of Black Adam. I don't know, has anyone seen Black Adam yet in this room?
We went and saw it last night.
All right, so we got one.
Yep.
I've not seen it.
Willie hasn't seen it. Chris hasn't seen it. All right. So yeah. So as The Rock promised, the power structure of the DC universe has shifted, and we'll actually start with, once again, it's shifting at the executive level. Walter Hamada has finally left the Burbank company lot and is no longer in charge of Warner Brothers as their DC universe film executive. And according to Peter Scretta on Slash Film, I was listening to their podcast. Apparently, they've gone to like 10 different executives and tried to hand them the keys to the DC universe, and they keep being told no. So that tells you that apparently whoever's actually in charge over there doesn't want to give somebody free reign. So they're trying to find a Kevin Feige without giving that person Kevin Feige level like power. They basically want someone that they have oversight on, but then they want them to run the DC universe for them. Allegedly, from what I heard in that podcast, there's a female executive at Warner Brothers that they tried to get the job. They've offered it to her 3 times now, and she's turned them down 3 times. So we're talking a job that's probably pays $5-10 million a year to be in charge of all the DC movies and content that goes onto like streaming services and TV shows, and people are consistently turning them down. There is something massively wrong on the top of the DC brass, the head of whoever's running everything. If all of these people refuse to work this job, there's something hugely wrong over there that, the general public is just not seeing on a daily basis, or David Zaslav is just the worst person in the world to work for. It's got to be one of those things, because who wouldn't want to be in charge of the DC universe if you actually were able to be in charge of it and do what you wanted with it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'd do it.
It's crazy. And the only thing I can think is at some point, someone has to they just need to hand the reins over to frickin' Greg Berlanti, give him
Or
the
Willie
movies
Nelson.
supposedly
along
he
with
didn't want
TV.
it,
Yeah.
if you believe the rumors.
Yeah, they got to pay him enough money because he did it. He did it in the TV shows. He took the Arrow show and built the entire DC universe in CW form, including bringing Supergirl over from another company, shifting it from ABC to CW. Like at one point, there was 9 different DC shows that were all connected that Greg Berlanti's company was running, and they all worked. Like they did the crossovers. Like Black Lightning showed up along with the Flash from the 90s TV show in a crossover, and they made it all work. And it was full of fan service while giving good storytelling. Like the guys out there, they need to back up the truck to Greg Berlanti, give him enough money to take this job, because apparently nobody else wants it.
So,
And even if he doesn't want it,
whoever takes this job, number one, it's going to be a nightmare to start with because of differing fan expectations out there and trying to reset everything, get everything level set.
Yep.
I would hope that whoever takes this job gets in writing that you can't fire me in 2 years because you're unhappy with things, because we're trying to reshape everything and this is going to be slow to do. They need a 5-year minimum or something like that before you can get rid of them, because you're going to get back in the exact same position you are now if you're not careful, where you start to course correct. Warner Brothers sells again and someone new comes in and is like, I don't like where we're going with this.
Yep.
Off with their heads, and removes everyone. And then you're back in that weird state where, okay, we've still got movies to put out that were under Person X's reign. Person Y just got put in charge, and now we're trying to cut those movies from Person X's reign to fit their image, and it all just turns to crap.
And the other problem is, they're expecting someone to come in and be Kevin Feige day one. Nobody remembers that Kevin Feige was like an assistant producer on the X-Men films.
Right.
Like this guy started off, at the lower tier, learned the business behind other executives that were doing the production job, found out, how to make, how people that love movies make movies with comic book characters in them and do it well. And then he took a risk on Iron Man. He wasn't Kevin Feige when they did Iron Man. He was just a no-name executive that nobody knew. And all of a sudden, oh, hey, we just nailed a character and made almost a perfect film. Okay, let's move forward and, roll with this and see if we can keep building on it and get something going. And they're wanting someone, like, basically DC is expecting someone day one to be Kevin Feige and have, a 25-movie universe in their head ready to go. And it's impossible. You can't come out the gate doing the Justice League movie when you haven't done the 4 movies that need to lead up to the team movie. Like, it's utterly ridiculous what they're expecting of this person. But yeah, I mean, I hope they find somebody. I hope they get someone in there that's smart enough to start slapping Elseworld stickers on these movies. I mean, Marvel finally gave us, the average moviegoer now has a semi-good understanding of the multiverse theory and what the what ifs are. With the what if cartoon, it's like, hey, we're actually going to have Uatu introduce the idea of in the multiverse, everything could happen everywhere. And so we ask the question, what if? And you get what if stories. And so you actually have the watcher explaining how there is multiverse theory in comics to, the standard just audience member that's never read a Marvel book and doesn't know what a what if book is and doesn't know about the multiverse, doesn't know why Marvel's called the 616. The average person on the street that has no clue, the person that maybe doesn't know that Shazam and Black Adam are in the DC universe, not in the Marvel universe. People that don't know it's different competing companies. But you got DC coming out with all these other random movies. We're getting a second Joker film that exists in what universe?
As a musical.
As a musical. We're going to, Incel the musical. Wow, that's what we needed. But, I mean, with all the shit they're doing, they put no labels on any of them. And so everybody just keeps thinking that, they're just going to keep building the Snyderverse. But there's like nobody wanting that other than the Snyder Cut fans. And then you've got regular DC fans that just want to see good movies. And every time they start building up a Justice League, your Flash goes out and bitch slaps someone in public. And you have problems with, trying to get characters to come back again and not wanting to deal with executives. And
part of the problem here, and this is just me theorizing, I have no insider knowledge or anything like that. It's just the thought is that there's not a small cleanup effort. And I don't think they've shown they're giving people long leashes to try and do things. And because of the various changing of hands of Warner Brothers through the past few years, it's been constantly varying messages from on high about what's going on.
Yeah.
I would have my own reservations were I some of these folks of how much creative control am I going to have? What are you going to let me do? What am I handcuffed with? If I'm the new guy that wants to come in and be like, I want to start everything from scratch. I don't know how we move forward with everything we've done now. I think the smartest way we should do is to start from scratch. Is the studio going to back you? Because
nope.
There's a lot, probably not. And I don't think it's actually the best idea personally, because there's a lot of people that really like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. There's a lot of people like Jason Momoa, Aquaman. A lot of people like Henry Cavill as Superman, things like that. So I think it's going to be tough to wrangle. What properties do we keep? What properties do we fold into our prime storyline, for lack of a better term? What do we keep as Elseworlds? How do we deal with the public relations nightmare of the fact that this Flash movie is supposed to be really important for setting up what we want to do here, but the lead actor is so effing toxic that we're not sure how to promote this movie?
Well, and the worst thing is that this movie, The Flash, because unbelievably they're starting with Flashpoint, which, yes, it's one of the best Flash stories, but it's also the reset story.
Well,
that's what you do instead of an origin. That's so weird.
But everyone likes the story so much, they always come to it too quickly, because they did Flashpoint way too fast in the TV show too, and then it was over way too fast also.
Yes. And and they weren't able to hit some of the the cooler stuff in it. We didn't get, Daddy Batman.
Well, you were never going to get that on TV.
No, but man, we needed it.
Yeah. So
but I mean, it's like this is the movie that should be able to be used to perfectly reset the DCEU. And it's kind of hard to do when, you can't exactly put your star out and do publicity because they're going to go get shit-faced drunk and slap somebody and break into somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
So what I'm saying is it's a tough position, whoever comes in, to figure out how to reorient things and to make sure they have the support from folks on high so that if they decide they want a green light, say, bring back Batgirl, and it turns out poorly. This is a hypothetical. I don't think that's what would happen. Let me hate this as a hypothetical before the hate mail comes in. And it goes poorly. Does that mean that the studio head isn't going to turn around the next day and make up that you fucked that up, you're out? They need some kind of security to kind of go in there and reshape things, because like it or not, Kevin Feige, after Iron Man got done and was a success, people bought in, and then there was, oh shit, okay, he can do this. Had Iron Man flopped, we'd probably be in a completely different situation right now. But that's the thing, is that Kevin Feige, they took the chance, and he was able to say, hey, here's what I want to do, here's how it builds up, and it worked. The odds of that happening again, probably astronomical. The way that's actually happened, I'm sure there's going to be tons of cool documentaries and stuff on it over the years, once we find out more and more stuff that I'm fascinated by. But it's a tough thing to do, and I don't envy whoever takes that job. And I hope that they are able to set it up so that A, they're paid handsomely for it in case they do get yanked out quick, or B, they're given certain guarantees of, hey, you've got X amount of years before we're going to make a decision on whether we're getting rid of you or not, so that you actually have a chance to take a creative risk, to shake things up, to do things differently, which they haven't really done aside from Zack Snyder putting this Snyder twist of things on it. You didn't really, in the main line, then get much of that creative stuff. The creative things have been more Elseworld stuff. Like, I enjoy the Shazam movie. The Shazam movie was not risky. It was just a plain superhero movie that was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Well, Shazam is the closest to the actual comic of any movie they've done in the DCEU.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm overspeaking a little bit because I guess Batman was a little risky to be like, hey, we're just going straight detective now versus lots of cool combat and fight scenes and stuff. There was some brutal fights and stuff, but I think you guys.
It was a little risky, but yeah,
I think
there's some solid fights in there.
Yeah, I think you guys get the point I'm trying to say though is that whoever comes in needs to have the leash to basically be creative and to shake things up. And here's my super wild card idea.
Sorry, got it. The Suicide Squad or I forget which one's which.
James Gunn, Gunn
James Gunn Suicide Squad. We got it. That was Unleashed.
Well, what was it? Hollywood Reporter is saying that James Gunn's pitching 2 other DC movies to the current head of Warner Brothers. So I guess that's Zaslav, but since there's no studio head, who knows what's going to happen in regards to that in the short term. But evidently they're pretty happy with him.
One where they unleashed him and said, go with it. Go for it. Yes. Take all these shitty characters and do something with it. And he did something with it.
Yeah, and he did with the Suicide Squad basically what he did with Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good. As a huge Marvel fan growing up, even I hadn't heard of seen that version of any of those Guardians characters. I had never read a Star-Lord story I enjoyed. I'll be honest. I read a bunch of them, and I never thought that character was interesting until I saw the Guardians movie. James Gunn, hell, if anything, DC should back up some money for him and just say, like, hey, would you take over our universe for a while? Give us 10 films over the next 20 years and let you make all the executive decisions. Imagine a James Gunn DCEU.
So that would be interesting. I don't know if he'd be interested in it because I don't know if that would keep him from getting to make movies, which it seems to be that's what he enjoys the most. So that'd be a heck of a shift. Now, here is my utterly insane idea that if they really want to make a world-changing view and shift a lot of the conversation, you send an unsolicited call to Kevin Feige's agent and say, double the salary, 6-year creative freedom, you can do whatever you want.
I wonder if he'd be interested in that.
I mean, that's the thing is, if you're Kevin Feige, and none of us are, but let's build up the story a little bit. You've made a 26 movie universe that you've successfully built up. It's changed the model of how things work in Hollywood. Probably still having fun with it, considering you're getting characters named after yourself in some of the TV shows, and they're now Kevin Feige Productions, some of these things. The question is, would the challenge of, hey, other superheroes, you like superheroes, you getting the chance to reshape things, would that be a challenge you'd be interested in? I don't know. I don't tend to think he'd make the leap just because he could probably write his own ticket at Disney forever at this point in time. But
pretty much. And he seems to really still be enjoying what he's doing too. Like at the She-Hulk premiere of the finale, like he seemed like he was having a great time. The guy still seems like he's having fun, which I think that's one of the other problems. It doesn't seem like anybody that's ever been put in charge of the DCEU, like they had Jeff Johns in charge of it for a while. Jeff Johns is an amazing story creator. Wow. He's amazing at writing comics, and he knows more about DC Comics than maybe anybody who's ever read books. Like, the guy is an encyclopedia. He did not seem to be having fun during the couple of years when he was in charge.
Going back to Feige for a second, I mean, he kind of beat all his enemies at Marvel. Like Perlmutter's out. Other people that kind of opposed what he was trying to do there all got removed because what is Alan Horn, who's heading up Disney Studios now, I think, or something like that, pretty much came in and said, this guy's printing us money. Whatever he's doing is working, and pretty much gave him the keys to everything Marvel, is my understanding and recollection based off of things I'd read.
He hit him with the Kingdom James. My buddy Anthony Rutgazer, outlive your enemies. So, Kevin Feige's still there, and all the rest of them are gone.
Willie, I think I spoke over you. You were acting like you had an idea there on someone. What were you thinking? Because I apologize.
Hire me. I got this. I got ideas. That's what I got. You know what? Let's take us a DC property that already came out and existed. Let's start that. Let's use that to start our whole adventure. We could use it as a short, as like a little trailer before one of the movies. I don't know, but it's not something that's supposed to be a whole thing. Do you guys remember DC Universe, the MMO one? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, DC Universe Online.
Do you remember how it started?
Not
like
really.
The opening intro.
Brainiac
opening
attacks
intro-
Earth, and everybody gets powers.
Well, I'm talking about the intro to it, like the introduction cinematic. It was the fast forwarded a bunch of the villains, the superheroes fighting. They killed each other, both casualties on both sides. Blah blah. Then all of a sudden, Brainiac comes in and it's taking oh, you guys are wiped out. Well, fuck it, we're taking over now. But Lex Luthor goes back in time. Let's start with that. Let's have some catastrophic event. Someone goes back in time. Let's do that. And my thinking is, it is Lex Luthor, but they see him, think he's an alien. He dies when he comes in, so he doesn't get to tell his story. And then later on, you find out the current Lex Luthor got that body, and he's doing some kind of experiments on it or whatnot. And so we don't know that they don't know what's going to happen yet, but we know what is happening as the audience. That's how you start it.
Be interesting. A tougher sell, I think, for Hollywood, but interesting.
It's more interesting than the, oh, hey, I run Facebook and I'm a weird autistic Lex Luthor that they gave us last time.
Is that Facebook? What?
He basically played the same character in The Social Network that he did as Lex Luthor. He just shaved his head.
I mean,
They seem more.
one
Elon
could argue
Musk,
Zuckerberg is the modern day Lex Luthor.
Zuckerberg wants to be Lex Luthor.
No,
he's not that smart.
A modern day lizard man. Look at him. Zuckerberg is a lizard man. I'm just over here in my backyard cooking out in here in the grill, like normal people do.
Like normal
You
humans
cannot
eating normal
defeat my
human
style.
food.
What is that? He's not a human, right? Like,
No,
if there's examples of lizard men, he is definitely one of them, right?
he's some type of gecko. It's true.
No, that's Geico.
I see what you did there.
But no matter who ends up with the job, Chris is right about one thing. They will be stuck with a hamstring, and it's a massive hamstring. It's 10 years of working out in the gym hamstring, because there's no way they can now get rid of Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson in that role, who's fought for it for 15 years, changed the script to Shazam because they didn't want to end up putting Black Adam in as just a small part. Like, this guy has been, 7 Bucks Productions has been part of the DC since, before Shazam was actually greenlit. The Rock has been a part of the Shazam and Black Adam universe in the movies the whole time, has not given up on the project. And on Friday, let's see, what was it? Friday made $26.8 million, including 7.6 on the Thursday previews. It's projected for a $60 to $64 million opening, which is now going to be the biggest opening in the last 4 months in the theaters, because the theaters are just lagging. Smile did huge numbers for a small independent horror film, but it did huge numbers because there's nothing in the theater that's really working. And so
Smiley?
It's just called Smile.
Smile. 1 second.
Yeah.
Do I
It's
have that?
it's independent one did a really
Probably
good
not.
at the
It's just,
I'll be right back.
It's streaming. It's not out.
yeah, but
there.
it did really good at the independent circuits, and has done well in the freaking theaters. But yeah, that's been one of the biggest ones. Now with the Black Adam one coming out, see, what was it? Yeah, it has to cover a budget of 195 to 200 million range, including research, which won't be too hard. See, what was it? It's the big budget, and weird to see this too. It was a cross between, it's a New Line Warner Brothers title. It was very strange to see at the start of the Shazam or Black Adam movie the New Line logo. I was not expecting to see that on a Warner Brothers film. So it was apparently co-produced by New Line and Warner Brothers. See, it got a B+ cinema score, good exit scores. It had 64% of all tickets purchased were by males. So it's, over half of the audience is, guys going to see The Rock, which in terms of, the audience scores or audience makeup is pretty normal for a superhero movie. See, this is on the Hollywood Reporter article, this is the last Johnson movie that was this big for opening weekend was Hobbs and Shaw, which was what? Fast and the Furious Presents Part 8, I think.
Something like that.
Which made sense at the time. It was the biggest thing that they'd done. Let's see. It puts, for Thursday previews, Black Adam was ahead of Ant-Man, 6.5 million, and debuted to, 57 million in 2015. Shazam did 5.9 million on the previews and debuted to 53 million in 2019. So yeah, it's got a chance to beat Shazam's numbers, which is already, looking really good. And then, they had the counter program where I guess Ticket in Paradise did fairly well. They did 6.4 million Friday with the Julia Roberts, George Clooney movie. So they had good counter programming for the weekend. You have the kids superhero movie with The Rock, and then you have the adults semi rom-com with Julia Roberts and George Clooney.
There's a Julia Roberts and George Clooney movie out right now?
Yeah, Ticket to Paradise. And it's they're like a divorced couple that kind of like start flirting with each other at their daughter's wedding, I think, if I remember the trailer correctly.
Fucking love George Clooney rom-coms. Like One Fine Day. I love that movie.
Yeah, it says it's looking to finish the weekend with roughly 96 million global sales and 80 million of that being overseas. So it's going to make like 16 to 18 US and then the majority, like 4 times that in overseas sales. But yeah, the Black Adam movie is hitting hard. It's actually bringing back, getting more people in the theaters than they thought, and it's doing really well. And then it hasn't opened up in all of the things. What is it? It won't get released in Japan until December, and then they still don't know if it's going to be released in China. And so it's one of the ones that they have a question mark on its release in China. But yeah, it's doing extremely well, and there's no way you can get rid of the guy who's arguably the biggest star in the world. And so if anybody does take over as the new DCEU job, part of that job is going to be keeping Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson happy, which, he's Black Adam now.
That.
Yeah, like they got to make
hire
sure.
Me,
like,
I can do that. I can work
you can
with
do
the
that?
Black Adam movie you already got, even though I don't know anything about it, what it's going on about it now. I figure that out. I gotcha. And
it's pretty good.
A little tangential. You said the movie was Smiley.
Smile.
Well, I got it confused with this movie I got right here, which is Smiley Face Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shitty movie. Don't get it. I remember the only reason I got it because I looked at the back. It's like, is that Crispin Glover? Oh, it is Crispin Glover. I was like, this might be good. It's shit.
Well, there you go.
It's shit. It's
At least you
shit.
tried.
Most boring fucking movie I think I've ever seen. I took a chance on it, bought it. It was not worth it.
There's like 4 movies now that have Smile in the title, but yeah, the new one is just called Smile, period, and it did extremely well. Huh?
Is the period part of it, or are you just saying period?
Just period. End. Finito.
Okay.
Just
because
smile.
periods can be part of movie
Sure.
titles.
No, it's just the word
Sometimes they do.
smile.
Dot.
But yeah, it looks like it did really well in the theaters for a small independent film. Like this one might be putting like Saw numbers up. Like it's a tiny independent horror film that's doing extremely well. And I don't know if it's gone global yet, but yeah, Smile's pulling in some good numbers. Kyle Garner has been tweeting a lot lately because he's in it. He was the Flash on Smallville. He was in Red State. He was Quentin in the new Nightmare on Elm Street, which is why he's technically in DBD because they, for some damn reason, can't ever give us a Nancy Thompson. Behavior sucks. But
did she want to sign up with it?
Who cares? The character looks nothing like the actual actor, so it's not about whether or not the actors wants to sign off on it. It's whether or not Behavior wants to pay for the rights or just wants to license a costume from a costume company like they did with Scream and get us Ghostface, but not get us any of the actual characters.
But they did sign up with Scary Movie, though.
They did Derpy Face. It makes it even worse. But Kyle Garner's been tweeting about Smile and like it's done extremely well. So like it's kind of cool to see a small budget horror film movie, rake in some dough. I mean, it's not raking in, Black Adam numbers, but it's making some good movie or good money. But yeah, Black Adam is good. It's a solid film. It's not gangbusters. It's not Iron Man. It's not perfect, but it is a damn solid film, and it's going to sit right next to Shazam very well. And it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with those 2 film characters going forward, because you can't have Black Adam and Shazam exist in the DCU without them eventually getting into a hell of a brawl. Because like they're 2 characters that have the same powers from the same wizard, so they're gonna fight at some point.
I still want to see it, but the fact that you said is damn good, and that's all you give it after 15 years. It needs to be better than damn good for 15 years of waiting.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I still want to see what it is, but
all the problems in the film have nothing to do with either the character of Black Adam or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. All the things in the film that aren't great have nothing to do with The Rock. It has to do with other characters and script decisions. Which they're shoehorning in part of the DC universe into a Black Adam movie because he's got to have somebody to fight.
No,
so
I don't know if
that's where your problem comes in.
I don't know if it's the same video keep popping up multiple times or multiple people are talking about it on my recommendations on YouTube. There's at least one person saying that, yeah, The Rock's the worst actor of our generation. He only acts like The Rock in everything. That's pretty much the whole spiel of it. And my counterpoint to that is watch Southland Tales. Because The Rock he goes through a wide range of emotions there. So I would say that. If you want to argue that point, Southland Tales is your thing back in 2006. I want to say it came out.
That's pretty old. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, but he's solid in that one. Good. I say watch him in what is it? Get Shorty 2.
Oh yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah, it was
Be Cool.
Be Cool.
Yeah,
I have it
Be Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
good.
Vince Vaughn's gay security guard.
Yeah.
That's some of the funniest. That's funnier than any movie The Rock ever was the lead on that was supposed to be a comedy. He's funnier in that movie than anything else he's done. And the acting in that movie is phenomenal.
The Rock makes more money doing action flicks and playing a roughly the same type of character than he does doing those not artistic or artsy, but those things that are not angled to be more towards an action style film. It's part of the reason why Batista, and people gave him shit about this, but I get it. Dave Bautista said he doesn't really want to do a movie with The Rock because they don't do the same kind of movies.
No.
I mean, but saying that they couldn't do it together, that's
fair. But if you
I
look at The
understand
Rock,
his point of view. I'm not going to fight him.
The point is the current filmography of The Rock,
though.
and this is not me being critical, more just an observation, is most of those things lean more towards the action hero archetype than the do something different. Whereas look at Batista. Drax was his foot in the door to be able to go and do other things. He's done like Blade Runner 2049. He's in the new Knives Out movie and supposedly is really good at it. I remember.
Man with the Iron Fist?
Hotel Artemis. I'll counter your Man with the Iron Fist with Hotel Artemis.
I mean, which one came first? I never heard of
Oh, he did Man with the Iron Fist, or the Iron Fist way earlier.
Yeah,
where he was the Golden God.
His foot in, I think. It might not have been, didn't like open all the
doors. Let me rephrase. The foot into mainstream. Let me rephrase.
I'll give you that. Definitely
I wouldn't even say it's
into
mainstream.
another role to keep it going.
I think it was actually
the Guardians of the Galaxy busted open. Yeah, you do more shit now.
Well, it was because nobody else up to that point actually helped him learn how to act on film as a character. He did like 2 or 3 really low budget action films, one with Rob Van Dam. It's atrocious. I saw him in The Man with the Iron Fist. He's not good in it. Guardians is the first time that a solid director with a good script sat down and said, okay, here are your strengths. Here's what you can do. Let's see what we can get you to do with this character, and help Batista actually like get into the character. I think James Gunn is the reason that Batista is now a not just good actor, but a freaking great actor. In Hotel Artemis, he's going toe to toe with Jodie Foster in a weird ass like thriller movie, and he's fantastic in that movie. He plays a nurse in a hotel where they take care of like gunshot criminals, and she's the doctor, and he's going toe to toe in scenes with Jodie Foster, and it's great. That film is amazing. The guy that came out of wrestling before Guardians could not have done that movie. Like, he's a fantastic actor now.
So I'm not trying to badmouth him, Mr. Rizza. You're not the best of directors, because the acting in The Man with the Man with the Iron Fist wasn't the best. The story was damn good, and all the scenes, the action scenes, look great. You did great with that. Like, you did some awesome things. The acting was not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoyed the movie. Enjoyed the hell out of the movie. But
it's a chop socky Wu-Tang flick. Works. It works.
Yeah.
You don't go to that expecting Oscar level writing. You expect to see some good fight scenes.
Want to hear some Wu-Tang? I want to see some martial arts. Put those two together. Peanut butter and jelly, baby.
Damn right. It was interesting. It was fun. Yeah, that's my news of the week, Chris. Back to you.
All right. It'll be interesting. Make sure you stay for the post credits for Black Adam. And if you're unaware, it's already kind of leaked out on the internet. So
let me guess, you already saw it, Chris.
Of course, I told you in the pre-show that I saw it on Twitter.
You said he saw it on Twitter.
Remember that? Once again, my memory's terrible.
Yes, I did.
You even told me that, and I forgot that part.
I did see it, and if anyone wants to know what it is, we can talk about that after the show finishes rolling, because we don't want to spoil anything.
Can't believe Spider-Man came at the end of Black Adam. That shit was fucking wild.
Yeah, Tom Holland Spider-Man showed up and said,
Whoa. It wasn't Tom Holland. What the fuck? That was not Tom Holland under the mask. Are you fucking kidding me?
They must have had different cuts.
It was Neil Patrick Harris returning from his role from the MTV Spider-Man CGI show. Are
it
you
was
serious?
Tom Holland, the director of Fright Night, in a Spider-Man costume because DC fucks everything up. They got the wrong Tom Holland.
All right, we went different ways with this joke, and I think by doing that, it fucked up each joke individually.
Good. That's what we're here for.
But it was funny, so
I'm
I'll
blaming
allow it.
you.
All right. Blame me. I'm good. Fuck.
He does not give a fuck.
So Chris is in control of the timeline.
Timeline. This is the worst
Time key
timeline.
master.
Thanks a lot, Barry.
So I'll go with my news story next, and I'll make it as quick as I can on it. But hey, we found out some more stuff about the upcoming Pokemon games. There's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that come out in about 3 weeks, I think it is. I, for one, am excited by them because I enjoy Pokemon games on Switch, DS, things like that. Willie's about over it, but Willie, I will ask, did you play like Pokemon Legends Arceus or the Sword and Shield versions on the Switch?
I played Sword.
Did you play Arceus?
Ooh.
It was actually really fun, and I thought it was different, and it seems like
Doubt
this
it.
may lean into that a little bit. But let's talk about some of the things that were brought up about new elements learned about Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. This is from an article on Kotaku. We'll put the link in the show notes so folks can go check it out themselves. They said it's going to be pretty big, bigger than anything that we've seen before in regards to Pokemon maps and things like that. There was a reviewer at Polygon that compared the size of the world map to that of Breath of the Wild. So that'd be fairly sizable for a Pokemon game. They did say legendaries would arrive early. You wouldn't have to be waiting for them to patch them in, things like that, so you'll be able to catch legendaries early on. But one of the things I thought was most interesting, and this is kind of changing one of the dynamics of how the game works, is the headline, NPC trainers will leave you alone. A frustration of Pokemon games since there were Pokemon games, NPC trainers have always picked off battles just because you wandered too close. No more. While exploring Paldea's open world, such trainers will indicate if they're up for a scrap, and now you're the one to trigger them. Which seems only fair as it's been 27 years that they've been doing it the other way around. Willie, you look...
Okay, why? Sure, that's cool, but it's not something like it's a point. It's a point in our new game. Yeah.
This
No
is-
longer
alright,
will you be
Willie,
the slave
Willie.
to be in Pokemon battles. So you will be the one to put them in the battles.
Willie,
Ah,
you're
who
editorializing
the fuck
something
cares?
that is not necessarily what Nintendo was announcing as big points, but things that they showed off in a trailer that then websites are turning into potentially bigger
You made
games
it
than
seem
is.
like it was. You made it seem like it was. I'm saying.
I was relaying an article that,
That's fair. That's fair.
Discussing
That's
things.
fair. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry.
so just a point that I want to bring up. You don't need to wait your turn in raids. While raids are still going to be turn-based, that's only between you and the Pokemon.
Thing?
Of the 4 people battling, you can all fire off attacks whenever you want or even at the same time. So did you do
Sword.
any raids and stuff? And
Wait. Is Gigantamaxing still a thing then?
I don't 100%. It comes to terrestrializing your monster, they say.
Oh, it's a new thing. Does
think it's a
probably
new
the same
mechanic.
shit. It probably does the exact same thing, though. I'm guessing.
I didn't mind the Gigantamax dynamic. It's just it wore thin real fast.
Dynamax. That's what it was called.
That's what it was.
Dynamax. Yeah, shit. My brain just came to it. I mean, it was all right. I mean, Nintendo doesn't know how to do online. I'm sure they still don't fucking know how to do online.
That's
So sure, whatever.
They did announce that day and night cycles won't be tied to real life. There is a in-game clock that runs, so that will
Yeah,
dictate
better.
whether daytime or nighttime appearing Pokemon appear. There's also going to be a weather engine that comes into play, so when storms roll in, for instance, there'll be slightly different animations for your characters as you try and find shelter, stuff like that. That's a nice quality of life change. You'll have to battle giant vehicles. I'd somehow missed this one. I apologize. But they said of the game's 3 paths, the gym one, finding giant monsters ones, and the battling Team Star one, Starfall Street's Team Star territory takeovers are the most surprising. Seemingly taking inspiration from Far Cry, they involve battling all the Pokemon of the baddie trainers in a camp and then facing off against the boss. Previously, we saw Mela, one of Team Star bosses, driving in on a ridiculous machine apparently called a Starmobile. It seems like we may actually have to fight this thing in some form, not just the Pokemon on board, although previewers were made to keep pretty quiet about it by Nintendo. So that would be an interesting change to the gameplay mechanic.
Fighting Pokemon in their Mad Max mobiles, huh?
That'd be kind of cool, actually. Can I get
That
some
could be.
dude with an electric guitar that cues flames?
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Imagine an actual like Bulbasaur coming in on a tank that's got water cannons on the tank, just like the Bulbasaur.
No, Bulbasaur needs to come in a tank with fire cannons so that only he can control it.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
They
Why
can do
the
some cool
fuck are
stuff
you
with that.
choosing Bulbasaur instead of Venusaur?
Because it was the
Because-
first one that came to mind.
Fair enough,
don't
'cause it
know.
is. Is it even still number 1?
Probably. Yeah, they didn't change the numbers.
Yes, they have multiple times. What are
I
you
don't think
talking
they have
about?
recent- I don't know. They've added
Well, not
to
in
the
the
numbers.
national decks, but every like the last decks, it was a whole different order.
Was it? Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, Sword and Shield. I mean, not the last one. I don't know what Arceus fucking was.
Arceus Legends was really cool.
I
You
don't
should
give a
check it out.
shit. I wasn't caring. No, I said I don't care.
It's open
Yeah,
world
it's-
Pokemon. It was
yeah,
fun.
maybe.
And then finally,
Yeah, sure.
Kotaku mentions that the Switch may struggle a bit with the game's ambition. According to them, right? That was my first reaction too.
What?
Nintendo doesn't have any
You
ambition. Fix your
really?
fucking online ideals. Fucking fix it.
That's
It's
not.
the Switch's fault.
That's
It's
not what
your
this is
fault,
about. They
Nintendo.
say, quote, the poor old creaky Switch has been struggling with its own games for years, but according to VG 24/7, they experienced performance issues as they played. Clearly, that was also true of Arceus, but we coped. But come on, Nintendo, we're ready. We know you're waiting for Breath of the Wild 2 for any surprise reveals, but let's just have a beefier Switch already.
Yeah.
I mean, and if
They
you think
gave us
about
a
the age
beefier
of Switch,
Switch.
we're probably in line about now for some kind of refresh. I mean, yes, we did have the OLED refresh, but that was literally just a battery and screen change.
Oh, there's another one. You're forgetting the first
That
one.
is true. And I did actually upgrade from my original launch Switch to the one with the better
The version
chipset,
2.
which actually
Yeah.
made a big difference for battery life. It actually did.
Didn't even notice the difference.
Oh, I did. I totally did, especially in some of the more power-hungry games, because I'm someone who plays on docked all the time.
I say, yeah, it probably depends on what game you're playing if you're going to see the real battery difference.
I put
Remember,
a
you're
lot
playing
of
games when you're docking it in.
Look, I put a lot of hours into Pokemon and into Animal Crossing on that Switch, and it did fine. Like, I think when I stopped playing Animal Crossing, I was up to like 500 plus hours in it, and I haven't picked up Animal Crossing in a year and a half.
I regret playing Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Boring, nothing to do.
That's fair. But at the time, it was entertaining, and it was when I picked it up was what March 2020, which is when pretty much all the lockdown stuff started. Animal Crossing kind of became a surrogate way to go out and do stuff with people and interact with folks. Not necessarily in game, but more of coordinating things. Be like, hey, remember we played with Naki? She's like, there's a meteor shower on my island, so we were all over on our island chatting on Discord while we were catching shooting stars and stuff. That was fun, and maybe that shapes my opinion a little bit. Is that experience then, because it gave me the social connection that I was missing, because I literally left my house to go to the grocery store, and that was it.
I mean, yeah, Animal Crossing and Pokemon Go, like, they both were hit huge by the pandemic. Like, people stopped going out to play Pokemon Go, so they got hit hard. And then everybody started playing Animal Crossing on the Switch. Like, yeah, I listen to probably 10 different podcasts a month that are different comedians, and I think at least half of them started playing, like, Animal Crossing. And we're talking about it on their podcasts. So, yeah, that game, it came out at just the right time. It was like, oh, I'm going to stay home. But, I can play this game and be kind of social with my friends.
They limited the fuck out of Animal Crossing. Like, that seemed like it was a quarter of a game.
Yes, and then they were like, oh, we're going to add in a whole bunch of other stuff. And honestly, I can't speak to what that was like because I haven't played the game much since, like, the Mario updates went in. So I don't know what all was added. I picked it up really just because I wanted some of, like, the Mario warp pipes and stuff. So I don't 100% know what's going on with it. But Animal Crossing, for me, scratched that itch and gave me a bunch of stuff to do with my friends at a time when I couldn't do things with my friends anymore. So it was not unheard of for me to hop onto one Facebook Messenger group I had with friends and be like, hey, I'm going to open up my island. My onion prices are this. Feel free to come on and sell stuff or buy stuff, things like that.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Everything pauses if anyone comes to your
Yes,
island.
and that
Everything
was shitty.
pauses.
Willie, I don't disagree with you. That was shitty, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it helped me through a difficult period. And I made a shitload of money at one point in time when I was playing the stock market and basically shared on whatever the website was and said, hey, here's my island code. Here's what it is. Come sell for turnips. That's what it is. Sell turnips for free, but please feel free to leave a donation. And I fenced off like the front end of my island. And some people would leave some donations and some wouldn't. But literally all I did was prop my Switch up on the corner of my desk, opened up the island, and walked away, and they just went to work for 2 hours. And when I came back, I had a bunch of free stuff. People giving me recipe cards and stuff like that. And it was fun and it was nice. But I will say this, once you make all the money, there's really nothing stopping you from doing anything in that game anymore. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, what else is there to do in the game?
Not a ton.
There was not even really a lot to do in the beginning. There's not a lot to do any point in time in that game.
I don't disagree with you, Willie. But I knew what I was getting into when that game came, because it's an Animal Crossing game. They're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, I thought they would do better with it though. Like
That was what
more
we all
activities to do, just something, anything other than like
Better.
I want to do more, but there's nothing else to do. But I want to do more in this game, but I can't do anything.
But
It's
Willie,
a frustrating feeling.
That's the standard.
Frustrating.
How often does Nintendo change their formula on games?
How often does Nintendo suck a fucking dick?
100. How do I do 100%? 100%. Damn it.
I mean, they changed up the formula of
Appreciate
Zelda.
that.
It took them how many years?
Sorry, what?
They changed up the format of Zelda. It took them how many years for Breath of the Wild to do
The
something?
second game. Oh, you're talking about. What are you talking about since the beginning of Zelda? That took them
Yeah.
to the second game. The second fucking game in Legend of Zelda.
Okay, and then
Link's
that was basically
Awakening.
the same until they
Not
went
Link's
to...
Awakening. What was the second one called? Link's Adventure. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then
that was a whole different game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, which is not as popular. But what I'm saying is the formats and the formulas don't change very often. That's why I'm cautiously optimistic to see a little bit of different Pokemon, because Pokemon Legends Arceus changed up the formula, and the new Scarlet and Violet seem like they're following more of the Arceus model than the
Almost
traditional.
every Zelda game changes up something, so that makes no sense. What you just said.
That's not true. It's almost always been roughly the same.
The
kind of formula,
first game was
especially
just
since they went to 3D.
The second game was an RPG,
Especially
kinda.
since they went to 3D.
The third
Like this.
game kind of
Potatoes
went
are
back,
there.
but they improved with the new hardware. The next one was 3D, and it changed up a lot of shit. Majora's Mask didn't really change up a lot, but it changed up some things. It was a new kind of mechanical thing. Yeah, they change up something every time. What are you talking?
They changed
Whatever,
one
we're
element,
going-
but the
we're
core
going ahead.
gameplay is basically the same kind of thing. What I'm saying is we're getting things that appear like they're going to be a bit different, and I'm cautiously optimistic to see what that actually means and what that shakes out to be.
And this is also not Nintendo doing it. It's Game
This Game Freak.
which is a separate company from Nintendo.
That is
They're a
correct.
second party.
I don't remember how it all works.
I know they both have stock in Pokemon, but they could. It's fucking weird. It's just fucking weird. I know that much. It's something weird where Nintendo owns some of it, Game Freak owns some of it. I don't fucking get it. Whatever.
That's fair. Regardless, I'm cautiously optimistic to see what's going to be different with this game. And this is also one of those ones that it's not like it's ever going to go on sale, so just get it whenever you feel like it. Pokemon games never go on sale.
Nintendo games never go on sale.
That's not true. They've done a pretty good job of knocking $20 off their first party games off and on throughout the last couple years. Billy, you don't know because you don't play your Switch. And you, for those on audio, Willie just mouthed "fuck you" at me.
Everything I say, no.
Well, Willie,
They don't
Well,
go on
it's not
sale.
our fault.
I'm
You're
going to fucking GameStop
constantly
right now and looking
wrong.
up Super Mario Brothers Odyssey. I'm looking up Super Mario Odyssey. Let's see what the price of that is.
right
I
now,
fucking swear
it's
to
probably
God.
retail.
Don't
But
you dare look it up too. I'm looking it up.
Willie, the point I was making is that they put them on sale, so it's not always going to be at that price. But I have seen Odyssey, especially on Mario Day, which was March 10th. They had a bunch of Mario games down to $39 and $41, and I believe Odyssey was one of them.
Oh, all the way down to $30.
You were saying, well, hold on now. You keep moving the marker here. You're like, oh, Nintendo never puts things on sale. And when I say, yes, they do, you're like, oh, only $20. You can't keep moving the marker.
Listen,
Willie's
listen.
entire argument is moving the goalposts.
My argument is Nintendo games never go on fucking sale. If they
Then
do,
you're
it's
wrong.
fucking pittance. It's a pittance.
$20
for this
off.
4-year-old game. $20, okay. And that's just a sale price for a limited time. We're popping it right back to full price after that.
That's the nature of the beast. But
Oh
to
my-
say they
it's
never
only
go on,
Nintendo. It's not the nature of the beast. It's nature of Nintendo.
it's the
not
nature
the
of
beast.
the Nintendo beast. How long has it been that way? Fucking forever.
Yeah, it is bullshit. Forever it's been bullshit.
I don't disagree with that.
Wait. And yet you own a Switch?
Yeah, I got it from Mario
Then you're
Party.
part of the problem. See, I never bought a Switch. I never gave Nintendo my money. So you're part of the problem, Willie. There's shit. It's the nature of the beast. You hate it. It never go on sale.
I'm gonna use this joke. I hope I use it right. Hey, Chris, do you hear a pour talking?
It's a pretty mid approach there, Bachman.
Yeah.
Did I use it correctly?
Yeah, that worked.
I
Pretty
tried.
close.
But yes, that was my news, is that there's some new information coming about Scarlet and Violet. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm looking forward to playing them, but I also enjoy playing the Pokemon games on my Switch. Willie's not going to play it because he just likes to shit all over any Nintendo news.
No. I had Pokemon Sword. That's what ruined it. That you can blame that for me not wanting to ever play a Pokemon game again. You
Okay.
can blame Sword and Shield.
That's fair.
So
And
I shouldn't buy that one.
what I will continue to tell you is that Pokemon Legends Arceus is vastly superior to Sword and Shield.
It's irrelevant because Sword and Shield ruined it before I could even get to it. It spoiled the pond. It's all poison now. Poison pond.
Okay, that's fair. You're allowed to have that belief. That's fine. I will say that I think you would enjoy Legends Arceus because it's a different approach to things.
Never find out.
I can loan you my copy if you want to play.
We'll never find out.
If I gave you a
We
copy of the
never
game,
will find out.
you would
'cause I
never- all right,
will
so
not put it in anything.
here's the deal I'll make you. I will watch The Fifth Element, and I will
Oh,
buy you a
shit.
copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus.
You get a
Wait,
free,
wait, wait,
you get a
wait,
free
Bachman,
game out of this,
Bachman.
and you're gonna watch the movie.
Bachman, hold on. Whoa. I didn't hear. What'd you say, Chris?
I said, I will watch The Fifth Element, and you'll get a copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Will, you better take him up on this
You
offer.
just have to play it. You have to beat it.
He's finally gonna watch the
Sure?
Fifth Element. Do it.
Sure.
Do
I
it.
mean, there's no downfall in me in this. That's why I was like, wait, where's
I
the catch
know.
on me? There is no catch on me.
I won't
Oh,
watch
no, I
it
gotta
until
play
you
a
beat the game.
I gotta play a game.
I won't watch it until
Okay,
you beat
fuck
the
it.
game.
Fair enough. I'll do it. And you know what? I'm gonna fix the DCEU while I'm playing it. God damn it!
Now this I want to see.
I'm juggle like a motherfucker. I juggle these big ass balls all day long.
I
I don't know. That was a weird joke. It went weird. It is the first thing that popped in my head. I'm
It
sorry.
went off the rails so fast. It was good, and then it went off the rails so fast.
Well, Willie, let's throw
Ugh.
things over to you to finish up our news. You wanted to talk also about some video games, right?
Well, not video games. I guess it is video games.
It's multiple games in one package.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, to be fair, this is the 9th time they've done it. Because, yes, gather round, boys and girls. Gather round. For you see, this is the time of the review of the Jackbox Party Pack number 9. The 9th in the series of, I'm pretty sure they came out yearly. So count back 9 and you got the day it started. I'm sure you guys can do math, because I know I can't. But yes, return
That
of
is
it.
hard.
Sure. Oh, so it's okay. So it's Bachman's camera did freeze.
Yes, his camera did freeze. It
Okay, I was like, look at you. Wait, you're moving, Chris, because you just had me up. I was like so confused for a second. Yeah. So Jackbox Party Pack 9. Let's just start off with the first game, which is also the only repeat in the series of from we're talking about Fibbage 4. You guys remember what Fibbage is?
Yes,
I do not.
I got a
What
yes
was
and I got a
Fibbage?
no, which is perfect. So, Return of Fibbage. This is a game where you lie and trick your friends in return for points. So, pretty much in it, it gives you like a little fact
Alright.
with a word missing. Like, I can't remember any examples off the top of my head all of a sudden. But yeah, it's like it gives you a fact and has a missing thing, and you're supposed to type in a lie that would trick your friends, and then it puts all the lies up after everyone's put up something. And it puts in the truth. And then you have to find the truth and not pick one of your friends' lies.
Mm.
So the whole point is to trick your friends.
I always
and
like to
get
trick
points.
my friends.
And also being
Lies
smart
and
at
propaganda.
trivia. Yeah, it's super fun. Love it. I love that it's returning. Not only that, there's a second part to it. Which, continuing from Fibbage 3 a couple of party packs ago, there's a mode called Fibbage Enough About You, which is a perfect icebreaker game because the very first thing it does, it asks everyone a question, a different question. And the whole point of it is you answer truthfully. And then it continues on normally like Fibbage, but it's all your answers and questions. So it'll ask you like just something basic, like what is your favorite action movie or something. I'm doing very basic. It asks different questions than that.
Okay.
I'm just being very basic for it. And then you put in your answer, you answer it first. And then it goes in, in a random order of people, puts up their questions with the blank. And then you have to put in what you think would fool people for their blank. And then you're also trying to find the truth. So that's part of it. So it's an icebreaker game because you find out more about your friends. And it's super fun, super fun. Fibbage 4, they updated some things. There's some new things. And Fibbage Enough About You, new questions. So that's always nice. Moving on. The next game, Roomerang. Because, like I said, let me continue. There's 5 games in every pack at the very least. I say at the very least because Fibbage 4 and Fibbage Enough About You could be considered 2 different games, but they're packaged as one, so boom, boom, boom. Roomerang, game number 2. It's a game of eliminations like Big Brother. You're all kind of at a house, and you're playing games. You answer questions about your friends, and if you win the votes, when people like your answers the best, the person with the most votes gets an advantage, like immunity from eliminations, or double your vote for elimination, stuff like that. There's different things. But yeah. So you're all in like a Big Brother type situation where you're in a house and you vote people out. There's 5 rounds of it, and the person with the most points at the end wins. It's kind of simple, very fun. When you do get eliminated and you leave from the house, you get to say your last words. Like anything you type in on your phone, it'll be above your head,
Well, that
and then you'll leave.
Right for abuse.
Oh yeah, it already has. But as soon as you leave, there's a doorbell ringing, the knocking. And you're like, what's the? And you open the door, and like me, when I was eliminated, Willie, I left. I said, "Fuck y'all, I'm gone." And then all of a sudden, there's a new person at the door. It was me with a new mustache named Wally. Yeah, I hate that it called me Wally, but whatever. Yeah, pretty much it takes any like a random vowel in your name, it changes to another random vowel. That's what you're back in the game, kind of, technically,
yeah.
But as a different character. So that's how that game kind of works. It's fun. Like all these games are fire. I'm not gonna lie. Next is Junktopia. Bad news: a hobo wizard turned you all into frogs by accident. Good news: if you win this competition, he'll turn you back, but only if you win.
Okay.
So, so the point of this game is it's a presentation game. Like you have to give a presentation. If you choose not to, no one's gonna fucking vote for you. No one gives a shit. You could give gold A material, but if you don't present it, fuck you. You're out of here. In my eyes, at least. Yeah. So pretty much you go shopping for an item, and you have to make the most money on like turning it around. Pretty much. So you have a choice of 3 different items. Some of them are like most of the time they're weird looking, but they're real world items. And then you have to give it a name and give 2 facts about it. And the whole point of it is you kind of give them like a magical spin to it. So you're giving a presentation on this item to upsell it to this magical item. I had like a little fish press thing, like a little cast iron fish press thing. And I forget what I called it. I think I called it the dead man's soul grabber. Because what you do is you clamp it down on a fresh dead body. You clamp it down on his nuts, and as the dead body gasps for air, that's when you grab it in a jar. And you get the dead man's soul. I did a whole little thing about it. Yeah, I did a whole thing. It's, you don't have to, but you can do it. Yeah, so you go shop for an item and give it a presentation on what this magical item is. Everyone votes for the favorite, and points are giving out. And then, of course, the winner gets turned back into a human. There's 3 rounds? 2 rounds? There's got to be 3 rounds of that, right? Maybe only 2 rounds, because it does take a little bit of time of the presenting, but it's always been fun. I only had a little bit of problem where someone didn't want to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing? All right, game number 4. Nonsensical. You're giving a statement and a percentage. Your task is to say something about the statement to draw people to guess the percentage it gave you. like from 0 to 100% in tens. So 10%, 20%, all the way up to 20%. Let's say like an example would be like give a real song, like give the name of a real song that you think this amount of people would say they like it. And you gave my example was like 60%. So you have to give the title of a real song that
Party
you
in
think
the
60%.
USA.
I said Achy Breaky Heart. That's a good solid 60%.
Okay, I can
Like
see.
it's an earworm. You don't want to like it, but it weasels its way in.
You and I were both on the
Breaky Heart.
You and I were both on the
Both
Cyrus
on the
train of
Cyrus.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually did use that in the very first game because the first person in gets to say whether or not they want to be part of the give the tutorial one, and I did. That was for the tutorial. That was nice. Yeah, so that's the whole point of it. And the closer people get to your like answer, your percentage, like they have to be only like 10% off.
Okay.
If they're any more, then you don't get points for it. But the more people are like on it or 10% off either way, you get more points for, and they get more points for. Everyone gets more points. So it pays to get it right. This is the hardest one for people to kind of understand how it works, which I get it. It is the more like out there ones, but I got it pretty fast. What's your excuse? You dumber than Willie? Willie's pretty fucking dumb. Are you saying you're dumber than me?
Is that going to be the new Jack Party Box game? Or
That's a
dumber
challenge.
than Willie?
Don't be dumber than Willie. Although I rock at trivia games, so you can't. I'm not that dumb.
So I want to make a game called "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grade Willie?" We'll just rip off.
There we
God,
go.
fifth
There
grade
we go.
Willie was fucking retarded.
Well, then it should be
Smarter
pretty
than
easy
a
game.
fifth grade Willie.
Okay, I know. I probably should have said the word, but to be fair, that word was also made to not be offensive originally, even
Yes, 'cause
though
it took
it
over for the
definitely
word-
got changed to be offensive.
It took over for the word
Holy
mongoloid.
Really? So that's why it was such a problem in Eastbound and Down. Huh. That was for the joke in Eastbound. I watched it recently. So
I can't remember. I heard some comedian talking about it, and they're like, "It doesn't matter what you change that word to; it's going to be what my cousin's going to call me when I miss a baseball pitch."
Yeah, that's pretty much right. You can change the word to whatever. The meaning's going to be the meaning is going to be the meaning.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. People are going to use it. I don't mean to be malviolent. Well, not malviolent. Malicious with it. That's it. I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. If you believe I did, I'm sorry. Like my truest apologies. See, the closer you get, blah blah. All right, so that's how nonsensical works. The ultimate game, the last game, Quicksort. I only have a sentence written because I think I can figure this out. It's a game of ordering things, and I'm going off script from here on out. It's a game of ordering things. So, two teams. You got one side and the other side. You're taking turns to order things. Pretty much you're in a box room. Something pops out of the top. You have to order left or right, newest to oldest.
Okay.
That's what the pretty much is. Or like, it'll tell you what you're ordering in. Some example, so a block comes out and it's like Tetris style. You see on your phone, you can go left or right. And on your phone, it also shows you where it's going. It's like a little block-based thing. It's hard to see unless you see it, but very fun. An example would be like every time you get a known category and a mystery prompt. The mystery prompt could be anything, some weird shit. I'm going to tell you some examples here in a second. But the always known prompt is something. Listen, we got some good ones. Like some of the prompts were like, let me start off with a bad one. We went mystery prompt, and it said Oprah Winfrey's accomplishments from the time she was born till she turned 68, and you had to order them in that.
Wow.
We didn't do that bad. Like first time won an Emmy. You have to fucking figure that out. And like some things are not really true, and you have to trash those. And I don't fucking know what Oprah Winfrey did or not. Shit.
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
That would be.
Oprah Winfrey. So starting first time winning an Emmy. There was one where Tom Cruise jumping on her couch was one of them.
Okay.
Well,
That's
Sang with Diana Ross. I don't know if she did. I don't remember if that was trash or not, and I don't know where to put it. But yeah, there was a bunch of stuff like that. But here's the best example of it, because we chose lyrics in order. Like, had to put the lyrics in order. for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Oh,
That one was the best. Oh, because it gave you it was like a couple words in one block. So you in West Philadelphia we won. And of course, where's that go?
Born and raised.
No, it goes at the very start.
Gotcha.
Very
moron.
beginning, yeah.
The very
that'd be one
start.
where you're seeing people just doing this, and they're singing the song to themselves in their head to try to get it in order.
One of them was also the Pledge of Allegiance. I was like, Jesus Christ. When's
the last time any of us had to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
It's not even a
Sixth
pledge. I
grade?
don't give a shit. It's a fake pledge I'm giving. I was a kid. You were forcing me to do it. Fuck off.
6th grade.
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against the country. Just you're forcing the kids to do it. They don't know why they're doing it. That's
It's called indoctrination.
Oh, I know. Yeah, just like the line from Bob Hoskins in Unleashed. Get 'em young and the possibilities are endless.
I was really afraid he was going to reference the Mario movie right there, I'll be honest.
I was kind of hoping.
No, I
it
said
was.
Unleashed. I said Unleashed.
That's why I said I was afraid you were going to.
What?
No.
What was so bad in Mario, brother? Were you gonna say?
I was just afraid Mario was coming back.
Oh, I don't even. To be fair, I don't even remember the voice I used for it. I would have to go back and listen to him. I'm sure it's something like this.
I'm going to go pull that episode off the archives
pretty
right
close.
now.
It's pretty close to
You, like pull it off, like kill it.
Yeah. It's going to
Why?
be
murder it.
But I have
Murder
people
it.
listening to it. I sent it to some people.
I'm kidding. I'm far too lazy to actually do anything resembling work. Calm down.
That's fair. Yeah, so that's how quick start. Well, yeah, pretty much. When one block is pretty much one person on the team at a time, they get to put it in. So you get to yell at the other people. No, it goes to the left. What are you doing? No, born and raised goes before. My mom got scared. Yeah, stuff like that. So you go one at a time, and then it's the other team's turn. They get to choose. Like some of these prompts are bullshit. Like the Oprah Winfrey one was bullshit, or one of them was Tony Award-winning Broadway shows from first release to latest release. Holy shit! I'm like, I don't know this. But yeah, there's some good ones and some bad ones in that. But the bad ones are even more fun because you kind of know, but I don't know. Like the Oprah Winfrey one was more fun than I thought it was gonna be when it first popped up. It's like that wasn't that bad. But yeah. Jackbox Party Pack 9, my review of it is, all the games are bangers, none of them are MASH. Shit, that was on the spot. That was pretty good.
That's not
I
bad.
like that.
all
The
right.
bangers and MASH
That was
quote.
actually all
I
right.
fucking like it. The bangers and MASH one. That was on the spot. That wasn't pre-thought out.
Well done.
All bangers, no MASH. I love it, even though MASH is my favorite part. Fuck the bangers. But you know what I
for
mean.
the sausage.
You know, for the thing, yeah. No, the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, you're just
Mashed
here for
potatoes
the
are the best
banger,
part
not
of
the
that.
mash. You're just
Yeah.
here for the sausage. All banger, no mash.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, it's all meat. Yeah, the game's all meat.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the metaphor I'm trying to say. The game's all meat and all good. Next.
Which one's your favorite out of the Jackbox games?
Oh shit! Yeah, the next. When I said next, I mean questions. Anybody? That's what I meant to say. My bad.
No, that
My
sounded more
bad.
like Chris. Tell your
All
do
right.
your thing.
Yeah.
Favorite. Oh wait, I will say for the nonsensical one, the percentage one, the first round is it is you writing something in, but rounds 2 and 3 are drawing portions. I should have probably mentioned that. I forgot to
Interesting.
mention that. But yeah, I guess my favorite one, nonsensical, is pretty good, but the drawing bit kind of takes it down a little bit. Junktopia I like, but it also depends upon if you're with some people who give good presentations. So that's dependent. Fibbage is always golden. That's just a gold standard. Probably Quicksort
Okay.
is my favorite. Like Rimring is probably my least favorite, but it's still. I'm not going to turn it down. We want to play Rimring. Let's go. Let's play. I'm happy, but it's still probably my least out of all those 5. So Quicksort, top, Rimring, bottom.
So is this a worthy addition to all of the other Jackbox games that have come out?
Oh yeah, there's some Jackbox Party Packs that have some, let's just say, games that aren't in rotation.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you just to simply put thumbs up, thumbs down if someone's on the fence about picking up Jackbox. Do you think it's a good purchase or a bad purchase?
Wait, you said Jackbox. What do you mean? Say
this
the full
party
thing.
pack,
Which is
Volume 9.
that they don't use volumes at all.
Whatever. You know what I meant. Don't. Thank you.
Jack Attack 19.
For those
gave a
on
thumbs
audio,
up.
he thumbs up.
Got it. Thumbs up to Jack Attack 19. Willie says buy it.
Oh, the Jack Attack. Yeah, no one liked the Jack Attack because that's part of one of my favorite games, which is the You Don't Know Jack, where Jackbox technically comes from. People hate that one. That's one of my favorites. I never get to play You Don't Know Jack because part of the that game is trying to figure out what the question is asking you, and then you also have to answer the question on top of that. And people just don't like it. I think it's fun. You got to use some brain power. People don't want to use their fucking brain. They're fucking dumb. People I play with, at least.
That's fair. Well, I'm glad to hear
Now,
that.
they don't listen to me here. What do I care?
I'm glad to hear that it's pretty good. That was one of the questions I'd had.
Calling you out, Taco, if you do be listening.
Password is taco, right?
No, this
Yep.
Taco's actually smarter and a female.
Okay. Why can't password still be taco?
It could be. Taco's password is taco.
That's right. Willie's not going to justify that with a reaction. That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate that, Willie, and I appreciate you sharing that news with us. And I look forward to some of your upcoming Twitch streams as you play Jackbox games.
Already done it if you haven't saw it.
I don't have notifications turned on Twitch. I apologize, so I hadn't seen it. That being said, we are going to start shutting things down here, and how we do that each week is our traditional end segment, a little bit called What I'm Into. It's when we share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky or nerdy things we've been getting into, because you may want to go check them out yourselves. So, the floor is open. Who would like to go first?
You or me, Bachman. I don't care.
It's all you, Willie. Go for it.
Do it,
Fair enough.
Willie.
I'll go first. All right. So I've been playing Jackbox Party Pack 9. All right, Bachman, you can go. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I've been playing Jackbox Party Pack 9. Of course, been looking forward to it all week. And then let's see. Early in the week, I had a friend over, and we're like, let's watch something Halloween-y. So it was like, we were looking on Hulu, and it was like, all right, the new Hellraiser or this other movie. I forget what the other movie even was off the top of my head. But
The Grim Cuddy.
What?
The Grim Cuddy? The other new Halloween movie they put up on Huluween.
I don't know. There was
pretty good.
some of it. It was one of them we looked at. I'm not even sure what it was. Can't think of it. I'd have to go back and look at it. They looked all right. But I was like, hold on a second. Let me play an audible here. I'm going to put in a whole third movie. I'm not going to tell you what it is. We're just going to fucking figure it out, because I know you've never seen it. So I'll put on Slither.
Ooh, nice.
Pulling it back to James Gunn, baby!
Old school James Gunn.
2006 James Gunn, where he didn't have white hair. Because he was actually in the movie where he was talking to Elizabeth Banks for a second. It's like a little small cameo, just a little small. And then Michael Rooker comes like, oh, I know what he's looking for, and I ain't Lyndon, or some shit like that.
Rooker was great in that movie.
Oh yeah, as Grant. I don't think I ever picked up that his first name and last name were the same thing before watching it this time. I was like, Grant. Wow.
Actually,
okay.
yeah. Him, Elizabeth Banks, Nathan Fillion. They're all amazing in that movie. It's one of the best like alien invasion movies that has humor in it without being funny. Like, it's not a comedy, but there's some funny stuff in that movie.
Oh, I usually say like Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a comedy horror in that order. It's more comedy than it is horror. This one I say is a horror comedy. It's more horror than it's comedy, but they're both in there.
And there's some gross stuff in that movie.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, the twin penis things that slither out of his chest.
Yeah. The tentacles.
With
grody
spikes on the
tentacles.
end. But yeah. Yeah, great movie. You haven't seen Slither? Go see it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I had to buy it off Vudu, but I didn't mind it because it's fucking Slither. Surprised I didn't already own it.
I'm surprised you didn't either.
I know. It's like The Fifth Element, you not watching it, but here we are.
Nice callback.
I know, isn't it?
Well done. I approve.
And then, oh yeah, and then I watched. I was at my mom's Friday. Yeah, Friday, and she wanted to watch some Halloween. She likes horror movies. Surprisingly, she likes the Rob Zombie horror movies. That came out of left field. I'm not gonna lie. But she wanted to see a horror movie, so I was like, I got one for you. It's more psychological. It's an intense family drama with horror elements. Like when I say intense family drama, like holy shit. The movie I, of course, referring to is Hereditary.
Ah. Oh no! I'm still trying not to think about that movie ever again.
So we watched that. That was good. That was a good one. That's always a good horror movie.
That director, man. There's something about the way he does films that just I even own Hereditary. I've watched it twice because the first time I think I was it was like late night and I fell asleep during part of it, so I'd never sat and just directly watched it all the way through before. So I watched that one twice. I watched Midsommar once.
Okay, so you also did Midsommar. That's what I was about
that dude's
I
films,
didn't like Midsommar. It was boring.
But they stick with you. He has a way of making visual images that stick in your head. Like, oh, that guy he's a powerful filmmaker. I'll give him that.
Midsommar felt like what's that horror writer, the famous horror writer with Cthulhu and all that? What's his name?
H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah. It felt very Lovecraftian. It felt Lovecraft. It had like a feel of it, not fully, but like a feel of it. And I didn't like it.
Lovecraft,
like eldritch horror. Like I don't get that. Always turns me off. I don't know why.
Lovecraft by way of Sweden.
Lovecraftian stories.
Yeah,
I don't. It's something that turns me off. Even that one with Nick Cage, The Color of Space. That one was boring as fuck. I hated it.
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian.
Yeah, well, because it is based on a Lovecraft story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I just don't like them. I don't know why. Like, it feels like I should like them, but they're
different
boring
types of horror for different people.
I
don't think Japanese horror.
It's all in your head. It's all in your head. Like,
I don't think Japanese horror is scary.
Not in my head.
Everybody's got their thing.
Like, there's no payoff. Like, it's like Lost.
I'd say Color of Space was better than Lost, at least the last season for sure.
I mean, I'm taking the show as a whole. There's no taking parts of it. It's the whole.
Well, no, I just always tell people watch the first 2 seasons
Shove
and
it
then
in the
stop.
hole. You're lost in the hole now.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
But yeah, then I also had a birthday, and it was all right.
Did you get to have any fun adventures for your birthday, Willie?
Tuesday, my buddy texted me saying, hey, man, can you babysit my daughter for me? I was like, yeah, sure. I don't mind helping out. And then I didn't think after I said yes, I was like, oh, wait, that's my birthday. Oh, well, I don't fucking care. I'd be up super early for my birthday. Oh, well, I don't mind. Hey, just like Letterkenny says, if a friend asks you for help, you help them.
There you go.
It's true.
And I didn't mind.
I wasn't sure if you got to go out and have some kind of fun adventure, be it like an escape room or just grab some food you hadn't had before or something like that.
Did you have cake?
Afterward, I went to my parents. It was a little thing. That was it. And I was happy with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't like making a big thing out of shit.
Yeah, I've especially found as I've gotten older, I care less and less. In fact, there's been years before I'm like, oh shit, it's my birthday today. Huh.
I mean, not like that, but I mean, I was more excited for Jackbox Party Pack 9 coming out the day before my birthday than my actual birthday.
And they should be promoting. You should be getting promotion dollars from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear that, Jackbox? You hear that?
Jackbox sponsor Willie.
Jackbox, are you listening? Jackbox,
I do you guys right. I give you the nicest of reviews, except for some games like Monster Seeking Monster, which I mean people do like. I don't like it, but people do like it. But I mean less stuff like WordSpud. WordSpud was the worst game you've ever made. Can you not make another WordSpud? Or if you do, make it better, change it up to something different to make it good. Can we do that, please, Jackbox, our Lord and Savior?
No.
No more WordSpud. Or Licewater. Licewater was worse. Oh, to be fair.
To be fair.
It was like, is this a fact or is this false? That's it. That's all it was. And you go quickly through them. Boom, boom.
Yeah, they got to try out different things, right? try to keep it updated, see what people like, what people don't like.
I think WordSpud and Lyswatter are both from the first Party Pack game, I think. Oh, that was also one of the things in Quicksort, too, was organizing from first Party Pack to the last Party Pack the games that came down. You had to figure out which ones were in which Party Pack. That was a fun one. And I had that. We got the streak going with all of them. I was told, no, put that one to the left. We got this. They knew I knew all of them because host privileges, baby. Host privileges. I've played all of them. I know which ones are on which one. You have to know to fucking be a host. Like when someone says, hey, I want to play, let's say, Civic Doodle. I was like, all right, so we go to Party Pack 5 for that. Because I know which one they're on.
Right.
I'm hoping it's on 5 and not 4. It's on one of them.
You're all right.
No, but I know I get it's
We'll
one of the two. It's not like 6. It's not 3. It's 4 or 5. 100%. And my buddy did give me a present, not for my birthday, but the last time I watched his Cats for him, and he forgot to give it to me, and I fucking love it. It's a button-up banana shirt. It has a bunch of bananas all over it.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to wear it. I should have been wearing it today.
Well, you can wear it next week then. Be the banana man.
Fucking wear it next week. Don't you tell me what to do.
I said you can. I don't care what.
Until you watch The Fifth Element.
Okay, he's not going to watch it then. He's not going to wear the banana shirt then. As long as he's got a shirt on, I don't care.
I didn't say I wasn't going to wear it. I said, don't you tell me what to do until that happens. That's all I've said.
Willie, I do what I want. Haven't you realized?
Twist my fucking words.
Haven't you realized I do what I want?
Including twisting your words.
Let me just, where's my hand there? Let me pat you on the head there. Just pat, 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 pat. Rub your head for good luck. Yeah, he's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Watch The Fifth Element. Next!
All right, I'll go next then. Pretty short list. Hey, I should give you guys my update on the GameStop stuff. I still haven't gotten my order taken care of, although they did eventually never email me back, so I eventually got a hold of them on Twitter.
Hold on, Chris. Can I get a refresher of what happened again right quick?
Yes. So going back, what was it, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I had bought Far Cry 6 and Tales of Arise as part of the Pro Day sale. When the box arrived, I opened it up, had my packing slip inside, and there was a Pokemon plush and Pokemon action figures, but not my stuff. So then I sat on hold for 30 plus minutes on the phone to try and get resolution. Was told I'd have to wait 3 to 5 days to hear back from their loss prevention unit. Waited to hear back from their loss prevention unit. Got tired of it. I eventually found out, okay, supposedly I can DM them, so I DM'd their help account. They then sent me a return slip and said, okay, you need to send these back so we can resend stuff to you. So that was on Monday I got that. I then packaged everything, dropped it off. It got delayed leaving Morgantown for some reason that I can't decipher. Eventually showed up on Thursday for them, then got an email that says, we'll begin processing your return or your exchange in the next 3 to 5 days. And I went, well, are you returning or are you exchanging these for me? I have
doesn't tell you which.
And I'm still waiting to hear back to figure out whether these games I bought almost 3 weeks ago, that they shipped the wrong things to me, I'm actually going to get copies of them back or not. Now, luckily I did go to my local store and found them and bought second copies of them so that I can return them if they decide they're not going to send them to me, or they decide they're going to just give me a refund. I've got the games that I was able to buy for that price, but I only have 1 more week left before I can't return those games. So I'm really hoping I get some kind of resolution on it at the beginning of this week telling me that something is shipping with what I'm supposed to have. Their whole process is fucked up and ridiculous, and it's frustrated me to the point that I will not be ordering anything online from GameStop again. Because for them to put the wrong thing in the box, I understand shit happens, but it needs to be quicker than a 3-week cycle, basically, to get this corrected. And me having to reach out, sit on hold forever, wait days for a response, get no response before I force a response in a different way, to then finally get something sent off, to wait more days for them to figure out what they're going to do. This is just insane. Just insane that something simple, like had this happen on Best Buy or Walmart or Target or any other website that you buy things through, it'd have been fixed in days. I would have gotten a copy of those games the next day from Amazon. Next day shipped to me for me to return whatever was sent to me erroneously back to them. But for GameStop, it's taken 2.5 weeks to still not have resolution. And I'm incredibly, incredibly frustrated. The people who have been helping me have been really helpful. It's just their processes are terrible that they have to follow to do it. So it's not on the people assisting me. They're doing the best they can with what their processes are. It's on the processes GameStop established. They've just made it such a pain point for me to fix something they screwed up that it's just turned me off on ever having to deal with it again.
How dare you, Chris? Not just being happy with what they fucking sent you.
Yeah.
You should be happy we're even talking to you. We allow you to order something from us. Be happy with what you get. Fuck you.
I just
enjoy
like I said,
your 1/4 portion.
I'm just incredibly frustrated with the whole thing in general, and I'm over it. Like, if their website had actually told the truth and told me they were in stock on my local store, I just would have gone there and bought it. And that's when I found out, I think I said this last week, that if they only have one copy of a game left, it shows it's sold out on the website. So they had one copy of both the games I wanted. If I'd known that, I could have just gone to the store, picked them up, and not been stuck in this loop. Because I know that, because a week later I went and bought them off the shelf there because I was afraid that they wouldn't process my return in time before they ran out of them. Because, for reference, Far Cry 6, it was their Steelbook exclusive edition, blah, 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 who gives a shit. But it was basically Far Cry 6 with the season pass for DLC in it for $25. So that's what I wanted. But I assumed they're probably going to sell out because it was a GameStop exclusive Steelbook. So the odds seemed like they would sell out. So I was tired of sitting there waiting to find out what the resolution was going to be. Because, like I said, I'm still 2.5 weeks in with no resolution on what's going on. So I went and bought second copies after I talked to the manager there, who's pretty nice. I've talked to her a few times on stuff and said, yeah, I have no problem if you come and return these if they decide to ship things to you. Now, I haven't opened them or anything like that. They're sitting there unopened on my desk, on my table, which has been frustrating because I've wanted to play Far Cry 6. But if you open it, technically it's considered no longer new. Although the copy they gave me was the last one they had, so it was already open, so everything's just in this envelope inside, so I could probably play it and be fine just to return it. But I don't want to not obey the spirit of the return policy.
Wait. That's something I've always had issues with GameStop.
I hate it.
Yeah.
If it's out of the fucking seal, it's used. Yes. I don't care, GameStop. It's not new. Yeah, we had to put it on a show. Then don't fucking take it off.
I don't disagree.
Don't take it out. Fuck this bullshit.
I don't
If
disagree.
it's out of the packaging, it's used. I'd
theory,
return. I'm like, no, I don't want this. Give me some.
In theory, it means I could have been playing Far Cry 6 because I could just slide it back into the little sleeve that they had and say, hey, I haven't done anything with it. But I did not feel right if I decided to then go and return that copy after I'd been playing it for a week. So we'll see. I have until this upcoming Saturday before my 15 days is up. If I have heard nothing on Friday, I'm just going to return it. Whatever GameStop sends me from in the mail, that's also getting returned too. Because I just don't have the time nor the energy to deal with it anymore. So since I can't play Far Cry 6 like I wanted or Tales of Arise, I've been replaying Cyberpunk 2077. Only this time I'm doing an all samurai sword and reflexes build, which is really fun because I just kind of dash into rooms and hack and slash people to death and decapitate them or cut off limbs. And it's great. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. But I'm very early on.
Block bullets with the katana with the reflexes you've got?
Not yet. But once I get more powerful, I can unlock a piece of cyberware that basically allows me to amp up myself so much on adrenaline, it basically slows time for about 10 seconds. So you can just dash in a room, hack and slash people, and leave. And when you get
turns into super hot.
Yeah, and when you get that ability, you can eventually get enough other things that you basically takes 2 seconds to recharge that ability. So
nice.
You go and do that, you hide behind a corner, let it recharge, and then you go and do it again. And you can build your spec up so that you're also regaining stamina for every person that you hit because your swords are based off your stamina trait. And you can also regain health based off of kills. So you can basically almost make yourself invincible by being able to use speed like that. But I am not far enough in the game that I can afford that cyberware yet. So I die a lot right now until I get that cyberware. But I did also find another game, and I will blame this on the fantasy comic league I play in. One of the guys there, Brian, has been playing it for a while. He had it before it officially released. But I have been playing Marvel Snap since I got the pre-download that finally showed up on my phone. I want to say like Wednesday of this week. And it is a digital card game that is out there. And I did find out just before this show, and I was looking up some info so I could share it with you guys. It's by one of the creators of Hearthstone that made this game. So they understand how to make a living card game. Now, I don't care for Hearthstone much anymore because it's just too much of a grind, and I don't know if this game will turn into that. But I guess this game has been getting played a lot and has become pretty popular right now. So I've got some information just to describe how it works from Kotaku, but I've put in a ton of time. So here's how it works. In Marvel Snap, you only get 6 turns, so you can play a game in about 5 to 10 minutes max. And you don't take turns. Instead, you play a few cards every turn, and it flips them over. You build a 12-card deck, and you've got 6 turns in which to play. All of the cards in your deck have a different energy cost. In turn 1, you have 1 energy you can use. In turn 2, you have 2 energy you can use, and so on and so forth to 6. So for instance, like you can play the Incredible Hulk, but it costs you 6 energy to play it. So really, he's only going to come out on your final turn. That's the only chance you can do it. Things like that. So I have built a deck right now that is built around a lot of lower level cards that cost 1 or 2 energy, because then I have a card I can play that gives them all +1 damage for everything they do. And the thought here is there's 3 different lands on the map. You need to control the majority of those lands. So you need to get 2 out of 3 in order to win. Each of the lands have different attributes that can enhance or give you abilities that hurt you in the game. And it's fun because there's 3 lands. The first land, when you start playing the game, you can see what its special ability is. Lands 2 and 3, you can't see. Turn 2, land 2, you then see what its ability is. And land 3, on turn 3, you can then see what its ability is. And they all have different traits they can do. Some of it is, if you play a card here, shuffle 3 rocks into your deck, which basically means you could draw a card that does 0 damage but costs you 1 energy to play, which is a pain in the ass. But if you have the right build, you can actually turn it into doing damage. But there's other things. It's like, if you play a card here, we clone it and put a copy of it back in your hand. So there's really cool different lands you can play your cards on. The thought here is you need to control 2 out of the 3 areas when it's all said and done. It's quick and it goes by really fast, and I've really enjoyed it. And I just went really high level how the mechanic works. If you pick it up and play it for like 10 minutes, you'll understand how the game works. And I will admit this is the first game in forever that I've actually paid a microtransaction to buy the season pass for, because right now the whole season pass thing is all built around the symbiotes and Miles Morales and stuff like that. So you're unlocking Carnage cards, you're unlocking Miles cards, abilities to upgrade those cards. I've not put any other money into that game. I'm already up to like level 30 almost. I've got my deck level up to 80 something, and I've unlocked a bunch of cool stuff. It's a game you can play and put no actual cash into in its current form, and you can build a good deck and you can have fun with it. And it's not a pay to win game really, because you don't pay tokens to buy cards. You can pay real money to get gold that allows you to level up your cards faster, but the level up mechanic doesn't really do much besides make your cards look cooler and unlock things that you get for free out of the game sooner. Because the mechanic is you level up your card, and that gives you experience that then gives you either tokens to unlock other things or new cards, stuff like that. So you can kind of speed run getting your cards, but you can't spend a bunch of cash just to buy packs of cards to unlock stuff. So I've enjoyed that aspect of it. It's a bit more fair there that it's not rewarding people who want to drop, say, $100 in the game to buy packs upon packs of cards.
Yeah, just buy wins right from the get-go.
Right, and I guess why it's called Marvel Snap, there's a mechanic called a snap. And when you start a game, you're playing for 1 power cube or cosmic cube, I can't remember what the term is. But eventually, if you think you're going to win, you can do what is called snap. And you can click on the cosmic cube there, and it basically doubles down and says, okay, now we're playing for 2 cubes. Your opponent could then double your double down and say, okay, now we're playing for 4 cubes. And if you win, you get 4. If you lose, you get 4. So you'll progress up and down the progression path based off of how you win and lose. The nice thing is there is a mechanic for retreat. So say you were bluffing, or say the cards all of a sudden started shaking out. You're like, oh, I'm about to get my ass handed to me. You can retreat to lose half of what the bet is. So if we were up to 4, I would lose only 2 cosmic cubes. So I don't lose as many levels. So that's kind of the mechanic there, is you can kind of press your luck. And I don't find bluffing works really well in this game, but I guess you could try and bluff to have someone think, oh my god, he's about to drop a massive card because he just did a snap on turn 6. I've had a lot of fun. They have plans to be able to introduce guilds and competitive play against your buddies and stuff via friend codes. That's not out yet, but it is a game.
Are you playing against other people, or are you playing against the AI, against the computer
both.
right now?
You'll be playing both.
Both. Okay.
So as you start out, you'll be playing AI more often, but as you progress through the game, you'll start playing against other people.
Okay.
It's available on iOS, Android, and PC. I believe there's a PC app, but the PC app is not fully fleshed out. So you might see some folks playing it on Steam, things like that. And I did learn prior to this that the Twitch app on both iOS and Android will allow you to live stream your screen, basically. So I was live streaming for like 10, 15 minutes before the show started, me playing Marvel Snap. And it actually worked pretty well. So I really enjoyed it. It's a game that I had heard a friend talk about, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued to check it out. And now I understand why he plays the game so much, because it's really fun and you can progress really quickly and you don't have to put a ton of time in it, because a game is, like I said, 5 minutes. Oftentimes for a game, you can knock out a game. So I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to unlocking, for my specific purposes, I need the Squirrel Girl card because it'll really work well with my build, because the way the Squirrel Girl card is, I believe it costs 2 energy. When you drop it, it then deploys a +1 squirrel on the other 2 territories on the map. And because my build is all around get those low-level cards out first, and then drop the Kazar card to give them all +1 or +2, that's very helpful for me. But I'm not there yet. And I've also found a cool dynamic by using Nightcrawler, who costs 1 to deploy. After you deploy him, you can teleport him anywhere on the map that you want. The Miles Morales Spider-Man card is, anytime you move a card, the next turn it costs 1 energy to deploy Miles. That's become a pretty powerful tool for me too, as I can deploy Nightcrawler, be like, oh, I'm getting my ass handed to me where I've set him, let me move him where he's more useful, and then next turn Miles costs 1 energy instead of 4.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a substantial savings. And the Miles cards you get for free as part of their season pass for the first month. And they are in their launch week stuff right now, so they're giving away a bunch of free stuff during launch week every day in your inbox, additional credits and stuff like that. So go check it out. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm looking forward to them introducing elements where I could be like, hey, I want to play Willie. And I could just go on there and send Willie an invite to play. And they do have a really neat mechanic where you can share your deck builds with people. And literally it's, you can hit a share button, it'll put on your clipboard, so I could send it to Willie over text message, and he could copy all that text and paste it in to his clipboard on Marvel Snap, for instance, and it would put that deck build in there for him to modify. Now, I don't know how it works if he doesn't have those same cards, but it's really cool that you can share builds that easily by just sharing a link that it reads in and then processes and parses and says, okay, here's that deck, and modify as you want. That's cool.
Nice. Yeah, being able to share deck, yeah, because I think that was one of the problems I didn't like about the Magic the Gathering, that new update that they did, their new online game. The game's great, but like when they left beta and went to the live version, they're like, okay, you can copy your decks, and it was literally just an Excel spreadsheet, with just a list of the card names. Like there was no mechanic to like rebuild your deck other than look at the names of the cards in an Excel spreadsheet and then try to find them in game.
See, this basically dumps it out in text, and it basically just, you can paste that text into the game itself, and then it knows based off what it's looking at what cards go where. So it's pretty simple, but it's a nice mechanic to be like, oh shit, I found this really cool deck, you should check it out. And it would be just as simple as me hitting the share button and sending you a text message or a Facebook message or a Google chat message or something like that. And then you just copying that and pasting it into the game on one of your decks. It's that simple, which I thought was neat.
Nice.
So I've enjoyed it. If you like card game kind of things like that, I'd say go check it out. Like I said, you can play 5-10 minutes, get the gist of this game, and tell whether it's something you would enjoy. It's something I've enjoyed way too much. I've put way too much time into it, but I know, for instance, I'll spend most of this afternoon playing it while we're watching football, because I can pay attention to football, and if something happens, I don't have to rush to play in a certain amount of time. I can look and be like, oh, that's cool, and then get back to my game. And it's just fun. Like, I've knocked out the first 3 weeks of the season pass stuff. It took me 2 days after I bought the season pass, because I was a little behind on that. And there's 2 more elements of the season pass to still get reviewed or unveiled. I've had fun with it. I don't know if you guys are interested, decide to start playing, let me know. Eventually they'll be unlocking cooperative play or versus play and stuff like that, and I'm excited by it. But that's
I'll have to give it a shot, because yeah, I can do stuff like that while I'm on the phones waiting for the next call to come up.
It's addicting. It's very addicting. Willie, is this something you're interested in? You're muted.
We'll see.
Are you playing it right now?
No. Doing a podcast right now. Be professional.
You were looking down. I was like, oh, he's playing right now, isn't he?
No, I was checking something else.
Something on your phone, so yeah. I thought maybe you were downloading it.
I thought you
already downloaded it.
Okay. Well, that's what I've been getting into.
5 minutes ago.
Bachman, finish things up for us. What you been getting into?
All right, so we got rid of our couch and ordered a new couch yesterday. So we got a new couch coming. We got our fireplace done. So our living room's getting closer and closer to actually being finished. Now Dana just needs to get her shutters that she wants in the front room, and things will be pretty much done. So yeah, that's been awesome. We went out and saw Black Adam, which we both really enjoyed. She said it was a solid movie, like knowing almost nothing about the character going into it. Like what little information she knows about Black Adam is from watching the Shazam movie. And so she thought it was fun, thought, some of the introduction of other characters was a little fast and, they didn't give you much to like actually lean on with the whole introduction of the JSA. But yeah, it's a solid flick. It was enjoyable. Glad I saw it in the theater. It was worth some of the action sequences were really well done, really good special effects. Yeah, the no spoilers yet, but end credit scene was kind of cool. Let's see, we finished Hellraiser on Hulu, which was creepy, really well done. The special effects and the makeup were outstanding. Like some of the new Cenobite designs are just so creepy, and they took like some of the concepts from the old movies in the 80s and just turned them on their head and went way in a different direction. So the Cenobites themselves are super creepy in the new movie. It wasn't like terrifying. It was a solid like scary movie. Like it was fun. It was enjoyable. The fact that if you already have Hulu, you get to watch it for free. That was awesome. Let's see. We're halfway through The Bear. Yeah, we've been watching that, Willie. That movie or that show starts off super tense, and now that they're getting a little more into like the character development, it's kind of nice. Like the first 2 episodes are just like anxiety driven, which it's well made television. It's good character arcs. It's good writing. It's one of those shows where the people talk like people in real life, which it's fun to see that when dialogue's done really well. So yeah, we're enjoying that show. Jana's done with Andor, so now I'm basically just watching it by myself. And so I got up to the 7th episode. The heist that they did was really cool. It's in a good way. It's like the most adult, least fantasy version of Star Wars they've done so far. Which because it's going to lead up to Rogue One, and it's all the story of a guy who ends up dying on Scarif to help get the Death Star plans. Like it's kind of makes sense that the show's kind of a downer. It's not really fun. There ain't no Ewok sing-alongs in Andor. Like this is not a happy-go-lucky, kid-friendly Star Wars. But yeah, it's interesting. The political intrigue, the heist stuff that they've done. It's really well written. It's really well acted. The actress they have playing Mon Mothma is fantastic. And then Skarsgård, of course. All the Skarsgårds are amazing. Like they kick ass in everything they do. And Peter Skarsgård is like this antiques dealer on Coruscant who's like doing shady stuff in the back of his office is really well done. The way when they actually show him change character on screen is kind of cool because he wears, of course, when he's out and about in the galaxy doing things, he's trying to hide and not be seen who he is. And then when he comes back to Coruscant, like he literally puts on a wig and jewelry and everything to be this highfalutin like arts dealer. And so it's really cool to see the actor in the character go through a character transformation for where like
That's
he's
cool.
has a public persona. And so you're seeing the actor switch between 2 characters on camera. It's really well done the way Skarsgård does it. Which, of course, yeah, like I said, if there's a Skarsgård in something, it's going to be enjoyable just to watch what that family of actors can do is amazing. Like every one of them is just super talented. And then, saw Black Adam this one. We've been playing some DBD, enjoying running around as my Dwight covered in toilet paper and my new DBD outfit because they did the Halloween costume for Dwight, which is really cool. Some of the challenges they've done for this Halloween season have been pretty fun. Just enjoying running around kicking pumpkins and getting energy off of the new weird like epic generators, whatever the hell they're called. But yeah, we've enjoyed some matches of that. And then I got really excited. Saw the trailer for the directorial debut of one Michael B. Jordan, who is getting to direct his first movie with Creed 3. And so, getting to end a trilogy on a series of films where he started in the first 2 under Ryan Coogler, then went off and did Black Panther with Ryan Coogler. So like he's worked with this director a bunch. I think they also did Fruitvale Station together. And so, it's done like 4 films with the guy. Apparently, was really paying attention. And Ryan Coogler said like, this is the perfect movie for Michael B. Jordan to be coming out of the gate as a director and getting to like take over. So he's, running the show where he's playing the main character and now he's like in charge and being the director on it as well. The fact that it's Jonathan Majors is awesome. Like this dude had, Lovecraft Country, and then he was the villain on the last season of Loki. And now we're seeing that he gets to fight Creed.
He's
and so it's
jacked as hell, too.
Yeah. Well, you're making Marvel films. You got to get super jacked. It's like, well, you might as well make some boxing movies at the same time so you can be on film in like the best shape you're ever going to be in your life. And yeah, the fact that we're basically going to get to see Killmonger and Kang duke it out in the ring, like that's just fantastic. And like Jonathan Majors is a hell of an actor. If you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, it's on HBO Max. It's an epically well-written show. The concept is so cool, and his character goes through some shit. Goes through some serious shit. Yeah, so, I mean, as Kang, we haven't got to see much of him. In Loki, like, those scenes that he was in weren't that long. So if you haven't got to actually see, like, his acting chops, Jonathan Majors in Lovecraft Country is amazing. The shit that his character goes through over the course of that show is just, it's worth watching just to see that guy's acting is great. And so, yeah, seeing him as the dude that's coming after Adonis Creed and trying to take him out, like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I was a little disappointed that if you've seen the trailer, you know that it's like a guy that grew up with Donnie, and it's so, like, it's a kid that was on the streets with him. They both got in trouble. One dude went to jail for 18 years. The other one, ended up becoming the world champion boxer. I think it's kind of, I don't know, storyline wise, it might end up perfect, but it's kind of a missed opportunity that it wasn't one of Apollo's legitimate kids. Because in the original, like, Rocky 3, we see that Apollo has, like, 2 sons playing in the pool with him. It would have been kind of cool. I just think if one of Apollo's kids from his, like, public marriage was like, why is this guy running around with my dad's name, being the world champion, talking all this shit when I'm Apollo's legitimate son? Like, that, maybe there's something that they didn't want to do with the storyline that way, that it didn't work. And so they went with this new one. But I mean, yeah, the first 2 Creed films, there's never been a franchise that's turned into another franchise. There's never been a spin-off that's worked as well as Creed. If you watch the first, 7 Rocky movies, and then you see like where Rocky's at the end of that 7th movie, and then you see where the character of Rocky Balboa is at the start of the first Creed film, there's never been a turn in a set of movies where like a new director's taken over and just one character's carried over a story that's worked so well. The first 2 Creed films are amazingly well written, amazingly well directed. There's a reason Ryan Coogler was handed Black Panther. Like, Marvel's like, no, you're a badass. Go do this. We know it's going to work. And like, yeah, to see what Michael B. Jordan's going to do with the 3rd one, I'm just super excited because, yeah, like this might be a perfect trilogy of boxing movies. And it's not often that you get a perfect trilogy of films. This might be one of the few. And man, it looks good. And yeah, like Chris said, both of those guys look superhuman. They don't look like people. They look like superheroes in the ring. So it's going to be cool to see how the fight scenes look. Because, yeah, they did some amazing stuff in the first 2 Creeds, and I'm super excited for the 3rd. That's what I've been getting into.
Well, very nice. On that note, I guess we are set to start wrapping things up. A friendly reminder as we do that, we do stream this show live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over at www.geeks.live. So please, nerds.live right now. Geeks.live will be back soon, I think.
Either way, we'd be live.
Either way, we're live. Make sure you check at ATGN Podcast on Twitter. That'll give you the direct link. Worst case scenario, just use nerds.live because it goes directly to Twitch. Once geeks.live integration is fixed, it'll take you directly to our embed page over on GonnaGeek.com. Regardless, you can consume the show from there. That being said, we are going to shut things down. Do you guys have any final thoughts for the people before we shut down this feed? Gentlemen.
Consume us. You said it. I don't know why. It just sounded weird. You said you could consume the show.
All right.
Consume us. Consume us.
I'm going to say boycott GameStop.
It wouldn't be the first time that's been said.
Or the last.
Or
dead. Let it die, GameStop. You were cool back in 2003. Now you need to die.
Well, I don't know. They killed EB Games and Babbage's. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, back in the day, like I preferred GameStop over EB Games because EB Games like to fucking put stickers right on the fucking case.
It's true.
And you fucking couldn't peel that shit off. It was annoying as shit.
So GameStop does that now too.
Yeah, well, yep. GameStop didn't do that back then.
They took
That's
it
why I
from EB
preferred
Games.
them. Now they're fucking up so much royally. Like, fuck you.
You're not wrong. On that
They
note,
suck.
we're going to start shutting things down. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We do appreciate it. And we will see you next week for another installment of our typical horse shit shenanigans. Thanks so much, everyone, and see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Awful Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.